go to YouTube live events and see the show right this very moment. Okay, YouTube live events. Look for the Wells Report. Jon-David Wells. We're broadcasting live, and in just a couple of minutes, I'll have on my Facebook pages both Jon-David Vox and the Wells Report on Facebook. I will have the link where you can dial right in, and we've got a chat room, and it's a lot of fun. Join us, the Wells Report, live on YouTube live events, even as we speak. So the President of the United States looks like he's going to get fast-track negotiating authority for the Pacific Rim, has gotten a kind of a rebuke against his foreign policy insofar as people do not believe that he is ready for prime time when it comes to negotiating any kind of deal with Iraq and the rest of the Arab countries in the Middle East. So they're going to look over his shoulder. We, the people of the United States, don't believe that President Obama's government is competent. 53% of us believe that. So what I'm asking you is whether you want President Obama negotiating anything on behalf of the United States for the rest of his presidency. 866-660-5759. Joe in Frisco, do you want the president negotiating for us? And if not, or if so, why?
Mr. Wells, I sure do appreciate you taking my call this evening. Great show tonight, and first-time caller.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely not. Let's just look at this guy's track record. He negotiated five terrorists for one traitor.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's dig deeper, and let's look at $800 trillion for a bailout and infrastructure. And here we sit and listen to these liberals talk about, the train, it's a bad wreck for infrastructure. I mean, this Trans-Pacific is an absolute bad deal. They do not need to fast track this. This will only give this president more power than what he truly even deserved or even needed. But
now remember, it's all about legacy building at this particular moment for the president. He's trying to leave something behind that isn't, the wreckage of Obamacare and a lot of other things that people are just looking at going, why did we elect this guy twice?
Well, sure. But what people really need to understand is the sovereignty of America is going bye-bye.
Yeah.
They're not suffering. They don't wake up.
Yeah, I mean, that genius bit of negotiation that turned over the internet to a bunch of dictatorships and crazy people around the world was really a gem, wasn't it? Really? Sheila in Mesquite, do you want President Obama negotiating on our behalf for any reason?
Oh, no, not at all.
Why?
Well, I don't think it's even possible for him to do his job. That, we elected him to run our country and everything, and we are a Christian nation, even though we have other religions here, and we were made to be willing to have more religions here, free will.
Sure.
But his worldview is tainted by leftist upbringing, Muslim upbringing, and he can't possibly make the decisions that the rest of us would because he thinks differently.
All right. Thanks very much, Sheila. 866-660-5759. That was actually a very good answer. He thinks differently. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. 866-660-5759. The President of the United States, Barack Obama, should he be negotiating anything on behalf of the United States? Is there any reason why he should? The Congress said, you know what, we're going to go ahead and wedge ourselves into your deal with Iran. We're going to look it over behind your, over your shoulder. I know the president doesn't like that, but he doesn't have any choice. So should the rest of us go ahead and sign on to the president negotiating anything? That's what we'll find out next on the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer.
Dennis Gibbs, the boat guy, here with the Big Boat and Outdoor Show. It's boating time, folks, so don't forget to tune in to the only boating talk show on 660 AM The Answer every Saturday evening from 6 to 7 p.m. Brought to you by BoatSelect.com, the site with thousands of boats for sale, or list your boat for free on BoatSelect.com. I know you have questions about your boat or one you're buying. Email those questions to me at BigBoatShow@yahoo.com. Another hot Texas summer is upon us, and Mathis Air and Heat has a great offer for you right off the bat. With the American Standard All-Star Sales Event, Mathis Air is offering 100% financing and 0% interest for up to 60 months. That's 60 months on complete qualifying American Standard systems with approved credit or cash rebates. Mathis Air knows that's a home run, and with free estimates on equipment replacements, that's a grand slam. When it comes to service, call 972-279-4COOL for a $39 service call. Don't get thrown a curveball. Go with the company you can trust. As a certified customer care dealer, Mathis Air is about quality, honesty, and a great installation because that's what matters most. Special financing or rebates available on qualifying products. See Mathis Air and Heat, your independent American Standard dealer, for details. Or call 888-840-8084 for financing program details about credit costs. Offer expires June 30th, 2015. Make sure you're working with the best. Mathis Air and Heat. Call now, 972-279-4COOL. That's 972-279-4266.
Looking to buy your first home but scared off by the big down payment?
Yeah, after paying for the wedding, we're afraid we'll be renting forever and miss out on these low interest rates.
Fear not. You can buy a home now with a zero down mortgage from NASA Federal. Plus, there's no private mortgage insurance. You could save thousands not paying PMI.
Wow, with no down payment and no PMI, we could buy that house we saw last weekend.
The zero down mortgage with no PMI is perfect for first-time homebuyers who want to take advantage of historically low rates but can't swing the down payment. Just call 855-374-NASA or visit NASAFCU.com/374.
I can't wait to give our landlord the notice.
To end your rental woes, call 855-374-NASA or visit NASAFCU.com/374.
But I don't work for NASA.
You don't have to work for NASA to get a zero down mortgage with no PMI from NASA Federal. Just call 855-374-NASA or visit NASAFCU.com/374.
Equal housing lender. Offer valid on approved credit for primary residences. Membership eligibility required. For more details about credit cost terms and conditions, call 855-374-NASA.
Business owners, listen up. Give me an I.
Give me an M.
Give me a C. What's that spell? Incorporation, protection, success. Incorporate your business.
INC. If you're about to start a business, these three little letters can make the difference between making a fortune and losing everything. Because if you're not incorporated and someone sues your business, you can lose it all. Your home, your car, even your life savings. That's why Incorporate.com is now giving away a free incorporation guide to all business owners. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. Protect your home, protect your car, protect your life savings. Call 1-800-500-9483 for your free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy.
Incorporation, protection, success. Incorporate your business.
Call now for your free guide. 1-800-500-9483. That's 1-800-500-9483.
Hey, everybody. Mark Davis for my friends at Viascan of Las Colinas. We're always concerned about heart disease and cancer, and we should be. You ever hear those stories about the first sign that somebody had of heart problems when they died of a heart attack? The first evidence of any kind of cancer was after it was too big to be operable. Early detection is everything. Information is power, and honestly, sometimes information is survival. This is what Viascan of Las Colinas is all about. Viascan of Las Colinas. My friend John Duncan and the gang with the body scan, the well-view scan, they call it, all the vital organs there between the shoulder and the pelvis, making sure there's no heart plaques or blockages, no little cancer spots that could rise up and take you down. This is affordable, preventive healthcare. It is not uncomfortable. It is not claustrophobic. It's fantastic. I love it, and I love the information. It's good to know what's going on inside your body. Be Viascan certain. 972-739-2840, 972-739-2840, or just Google Viascan.
When things are going well, the last thing you want to think about is the next stock market crash. However, one unexpected event, and it can drop fast.
This is Ken Moraif, host of the Money Matters radio show, inviting you to our free seminar.
The seminar is May 19th, Alliance Gateway, May 21st, Rockwall, May 23rd in Plano. Clients that followed Ken's advice did not lose money in the market crash of 2008. If you're retired or retiring, don't miss. Reserve at moneymatters.net. That's moneymatters.net, or call 800-994-0302.
You can listen on the go. Find us on iHeartRadio. 660 AM. The Answer. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. And so the President of the United States is running into trouble in the last part of his presidency from a Congress that no longer fears him. In fact, the Democrats stopped a trade bill cold, the one we're discussing, one of the things we're discussing today. Stopped it cold because they weren't going to allow anybody to even consider a bill that wasn't made public. Harry Reid, the completely gone Harry Reid, was so against this bill that he said, hell no, are we going to pass this bill? So they redid it, they reworked it, and they passed it out of the Senate. The House of Representatives will likely pass it too. But the president has not got a rubber stamp Congress anymore. Further, the Congress, with veto-proof majorities in both houses of Congress, decided that they were going to intercede in the president's negotiation with Iran when it comes to their nuclear ambitions, which is good because the president is giving out all kinds of confusing information. On one hand, he's negotiating with this country and clearly giving them an opportunity to build a nuclear weapon. And on the other hand, he's talking to everybody else in the region saying, I will stand with you against Iran. Mr. President, you can't have it both ways. You simply can't. Polling information out today, 53% of us believe that the Obama administration is handling the affairs of government in an incompetent fashion. Knowing what we know about this president and his negotiations, the United States no longer runs the internet. What? So what we've done is we've turned it over to a bunch of people that don't have the First Amendment in any of their laws, free speech, free religion, don't have any of that, and they're running the internet now? Boy, that was great while we had it, huh? So that's what this president does. And what I ask is this very simple thing. With all these things in mind, do you want President Obama negotiating anything on behalf of the United States of America? I say no. No. Absolutely not. He doesn't like the country. He doesn't like the United States. What President Obama is negotiating, he is negotiating for a weaker, less influential America. That is how we got the Second World War. I'm not interested in seeing this president preside over creating the circumstances for World War III. How about you? Let me get to John in Dallas. So far, it's pretty much unanimous, John. Do you want the president negotiating anything on our behalf?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Well, Jon-David, our so-called president, and I use that term loosely, and his left-wing junta, they have not represented the face of America over the centuries that we've been a country since day one of his administration. The only thing he needs to do, as far as the negotiation goes, is to negotiate an exit from office, which he should have done years ago. He can't negotiate his way out of a paper bag. He's given up the Ukraine. He's given up all of our Eastern allies in NATO. He's screwed up the status of forces agreement with Iraq, leading to what's going on with Al-Qaeda and ISIS now. I could go on with 10 other examples. The man is not a negotiator. He's a community organizer, and he said so as much last week that that's what he's going to do when he leaves the presidency. Let him leave now. Let him negotiate his library and leave and put in somebody who can actually govern America properly and bring us back to a first world status, not a, tertiary, community organizing built state that he thinks we need to be, because that's not what we need to be.
Thanks very much, John. I appreciate it. 866-660-5759. Ken and Wiley, what do you think?
Mr. Wells, I just like to make a comment. I believe the only thing President Obama and his team of lawyers should be negotiating is whether he gets life in prison or the death penalty for his treasonous acts.
Wow. Pretty strong language. I mean, think about this for just a couple of minutes. When the left was jumping all over George W. Bush, did that bug us?
Of course it did.
Are we doing the same thing?
Well, come on. I mean, the guy gave 5 terrorists away from one, traitor.
True.
I mean,
the only thing I understand.
That's the only thing I would like him to negotiate is whether he gets life in prison or the death penalty. That's it. That's my comment.
All right, man. Thanks. I have to disagree insofar as, that kind of language That kind of ideology, I don't think, is helpful, especially when you consider that pretty big majorities of the people of the United States voted for this man twice. He is the president of the United States. There are a lot of people referring to George W. Bush as Bush and Mr. Bush and so on and so on. And I said, it's President Bush. And they go, well, wait until the Democrats elected. Well, I have been completely respectful of President Obama and will continue to be, even though I vehemently disagree with the guy. I don't think we needed a president that hates our country. I just don't think we did. Mac in Moody. How you doing, brother?
Hey, what's up, man?
The show is just not the same unless you're part of it.
Well, I'm trying my best, JD, trying my best.
I understand. You know, we fired up the television thing again.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to get on it. I promise.
It's like I was just like the teacher calling you up for, you know, to be admonished for some reason. No, man, do it. Just grab the video if you feel like it. It's all right.
You're never going to get an apple that way, teacher.
What's up? What do you think about this president negotiating for us?
I'm going to say absolutely not.
Why?
Well, first off, he has not finished his genuine U.S. president on the job training program yet. He's the most clueless individual that has ever cast a shadow in the Oval Office. And like John said, the only thing he should be negotiating are the terms of his resignation. This guy has nothing to offer this country but more turmoil and more division.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's tough. It's really hard to see. It's hard to watch. You know, what we have seen in these United States is we have seen the media retreat from its constitutional duty to report on what goes on in the government, leading all of us to realize that the only time that the mainstream media does its job is when there's a Republican in the presidency or when Republicans are in power. That's the way it's supposed to be on both sides of the coin. But it certainly isn't the way it is. The good news is guys like me ended up finding news sources all over the world that report these stories far differently than the American sources that we're used to. I mean, the abject embarrassment of inviting the world leaders to a summit at Camp David, world leaders from the Mideast, all those Arabian countries, and everybody saying no. They sent their deputies and their attachés and all of this. What an embarrassment. Was it reported as such? No. Would it have been reported as such if President Obama was a Republican? Absolutely. We'll have more about media bias in a little bit here, but I got to tell you, this is dangerous for our republic. It's bad. You know, you guys talk about treason with the president. What about the treason of bellying up, turning over belly up to the government to become the stenography service for the American left when the media has a constitutional duty to do otherwise? What about that? Is that treason? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's treason, especially when you start thinking about how political correctness is an attack on the First Amendment, how all these secularists, led by Ronald Reagan, proud atheist, who doesn't believe in anything except his own ego, and is totally unafraid of burning in hell, makes a standpoint against freedom of religion. I'm not talking about freedom of worship. I'm talking about freedom of religion. But if we give up that, they'll get to freedom of worship soon. The attacks on the Second Amendment are obvious. the Fifth Amendment against self-incrimination, the Fourth Amendment against unreasonable searches and seizures. That's what this government has done in stark terms all the way across its entire existence. Yeah. No kidding. And so what? So where are we? What do we do? We don't let this guy negotiate anything on behalf of the United States. We can't read the newspapers anymore and get the real news. Not about the Obama administration. It's so bad that people who actually do report on the Obama administration are admonished by President Obama. So badly, in fact, that people are saying, Mr. President, you need to back off. You don't get to say that the media needs to be controlled by the government so you get better press, which is exactly what he said a couple of days ago. It's awful. All this is just painful to watch. The disassembly of the American experience. So no, I don't believe the president needs to be negotiating on behalf of the United States for any reason. I believe that the veto-proof majorities of the congressional overwatch of his deal with Iran is a huge embarrassment. Huge. And I don't know about you, but what if you were a president that had to read about how 53% of Americans think your administration is incompetent at handling government affairs, and that's actually an improvement from the last time they asked the question. 53% of us. If you had been elected to the presidency with 53% of the vote, it would be called a landslide. Speaking of incompetence, the Department of Homeland Security, when asked how many illegal immigrants it allows to stay in the United States, had no answer. That is a failure that could have huge national security implications for an agency called the Department of Homeland Security. The Department of Homeland Security does not maintain data on how many illegal immigrants it allows to stay in the United States. It will only admit that they allow them to stay in the United States through something mysterious called prosecutorial discretion. The department's ability to accurately assess the results of policy decisions and make needed changes is important given its modified approach to immigration enforcement, wrote Inspector General John Roth. Listen to the language in that. Modified approach to immigration enforcement. In other words, they're not enforcing the law, they're enforcing the politics and using the law as, or part of the law for whatever tool they need to be able to enforce the politics. Though the Obama administration has implemented new policies that rolled back immigration enforcement through executive action and expanded the use of prosecutorial discretion, the policies did not include a requirement to collect data on prosecutorial discretion for annual reporting, according to Roth, the Inspector General. This is bad. The Department of Homeland Security has absolutely no idea how many people are living illegally thanks to their own prosecutorial discretion. Now, this goes perfectly with the polling information that I reported just a couple of seconds ago, where 60% of Americans believe a terrorist is living in their town. The Department of Homeland Security. Yeah, I thought about it too. DHS should mean the Department of Homeland Stupidity. I got it. I understand completely. All I can tell you is keep your powder dry, man. We've got about 1 year and 3/4 left. I'm crawling to that date. This is the Wells Report.
Hi, this is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. I'd like for you to join me on my talk show this weekend. What I do is teach people how to go the natural, organic route. I stir up trouble, too, because I throw out some things that a lot of people just don't think are correct. You know what? We have a lot of experience to back up what we recommend. Have healthier gardens and more fun gardening. Join me this and every weekend.
Join Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
There are times when people need a little extra money. Honest, hardworking people like your neighbor, or maybe you. And some banks don't always make it fast or easy. But finally, there's a company who gets it. Avant. You simply go to avantoffer.com on your computer or phone to check your rate, risk-free, with no effect on your FICO score. Complete your application in minutes, and the funds could be in your account as soon as tomorrow. If you need a loan between $1,000 and $35,000, go to avantoffer.com. Avant will give you a $50 Amazon.com gift card after you make your first payment on time. For this offer, and to check your rate risk-free, go to avantoffer.com and enter promo code LOAN. That's AVANT offer.com. Promo code LOAN. Avantoffer.com. Promo code LOAN. Loans made by WebBank and by affiliates of Avanti, and California loans offered by Avant are made under finance lender's license number 603K124. Funds are generally deposited via ACH for delivery next business day if approved by 4:30 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
What's the scariest thing about going to the dentist? Opening your mouth or opening your wallet? Because just a simple cleaning can cost $100, and things like root canals can cost you hundreds more. If you don't have dental insurance to help, you should give Physicians Mutual Insurance Company a call. 1-800-200-9887. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps pay for checkups right away. So you can call today and get your teeth cleaned tomorrow. Plus, it helps cover the more expensive procedures you might need down the road. Fillings, crowns, bridges, even costly dentures. There's no deductible and no annual maximum. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired or on Medicare. There are no networks, so you can choose any dentist you'd like. That's right, any dentist you want. Call in the next 10 minutes and we'll rush you a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-200-9887. That's 1-800-200-9887. 1-800-200-9887.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know how or where to begin? Do you fear your job is in jeopardy, or is your business income reduction keeping you awake at night? We're in the best time in 25 years to make a fortune in real estate without using your money or credit. My name is Ron LeGrand, and I've taught 500,000 people to do just that, and personally bought hundreds of houses myself. If you'll call 800-473-7178, 24 hours, and leave your information, I'll send you the first 500 callers my hot new CD, Foreclosure Fortunes, and my best-selling book to help you get started absolutely free. I'll show you how to build a six-figure income part-time with no previous experience and no license, even if you're a busy professional. Call 800-473-7178, 24 hours, and get my new book and CD. That's 800-473-7178. Take your life back and make this your best year ever. Call 800-473-7178.
Dentist office, may I help you?
Hi, I'd like to cancel my teeth whitening appointment.
Oh, may I ask why?
I found a teeth whitener that works in 5 minutes that I can do from home.
Can I ask what it is?
It's called Power Swabs, and it whitens your teeth in 5 minutes, doesn't leave my teeth feeling sensitive, and it's a lot less expensive than visiting the dentist.
Hi, I'm John Greenhut, the CEO of Power Swabs. And if you want to whiten your teeth 2 shades in 5 minutes and 6 shades in 7 days, then try Power Swabs. There's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth and you're done. It removes stains on natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. Try Power Swabs risk-free by calling 1-800-281-4037. That's 1-800-281-4037. I guarantee your friends and coworkers will be wowed by your new white smile. Try it risk-free and get free shipping and handling today. Dial 1-800-281-4037. That's 1-800-281-4037.
Warning, whether you're retired or soon to be retired, listen up. Do not be caught in one or more of the 11 mistakes retirees make that could cost you all of your money. It doesn't matter how well off you are financially, you could make the easy mistake that washes away all of your financial security. Call Optimum Retirement Retirement planning today at 866-882-5447 to make sure that you are not wasting your money. Call now and receive your free copy of the 11 biggest mistakes retirees make and how to avoid them. 866-882-5447.
Dallas Fort Worth's home for stimulating talk. 660 AM, The Answer. If it's important to you, it's on the Wells Report on 660 AM, The Answer.
Isn't that ridiculous? According to Fox polling, the 60% of us, 60% of us, believe that there's a terrorist living in our town. Authorities say a Mesquite man lied to the FBI about his travels to Syria, and that he allegedly pledged allegiance to Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the leader of ISIS. Bilal Aboud, 37 years old, has been charged with making a false statement, according to a criminal complaint from the United States Department of Justice. Aboud, who has spoken to Channel 8 News over the past few months about his interactions with the FBI, said that he had worked as an interpreter for the U.S. Army, but could not be immediately confirmed. Aboud told Channel 8 this past summer that agents harassed him when he wouldn't cooperate with them. You know, those FBI agents can be a real handful if you go to Syria to train with terrorists and then don't tell them the truth about it. Yeah. They can be really tough to deal with. You know, they just, yeah. So maybe that 60% is kind of accurate, don't you think? By the way, 3 teenage British girls have allegedly fled ISIS. Yeah, apparently those marriages didn't quite work out the way they had planned. I guess from what I understand, the ISIS husbands of theirs had a different use for brooms than they had expected. Just saying. You're listening to the Wells Report.
The stock market is at record highs, but will it keep going up, or are we due for another major correction? The financial newspapers are reporting that record numbers of major investors are leaving the market. If you're worried about the roller coaster stock market, there are some alternative ways to grow your money and build a solid, predictable retirement. The team at Guardian Financial Management will show you how to grow your money and still sleep well at night. Tune in to Plain Talk, No Worries, Financial Hour each Sunday at 7 a.m. on 660 AM. The Answer.
Are you suffering with hearing loss? Are you sick of people constantly complaining that your TV is too loud? Are you tired of asking people to speak up? Would you like to hear more clearly, but you don't want to wear a hearing aid that makes you look old? Then you need to try Listen Clear, a life-changing breakthrough precisely designed by top audio engineers to fit your ear almost invisibly. And you can adjust Listen Clear to find the perfect way to hear everything, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And right now, you can try Listen Clear absolutely risk-free with free shipping. We'll even give you free batteries for life. So call now, 1-800-661-2231. Listen Clear is lightweight and completely hassle-free, and it's practically invisible. Call for your 100% risk-free home trial with free shipping and free batteries for life. For free information, call now, 1-800-661-2231. That's 1-800-661-2231. 1-800-661-2231.
This is Dan Tullis, and I just called Joel Clark, one of Select Quote Insurance Services' term life agents.
Hi, Mr. Tullis.
Joel, how does Select Quote save you money on term life insurance?
Well, buying term life insurance is all about choosing the right company. Let's say you take antidepressants or you smoke. All insurance companies are going to price that differently. We'll impartially shop all the companies we represent to find you the best price.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. I just got a man, 40 years old, on cholesterol medication, a $500,000 policy with a highly rated insurance company. His price, $22 a month.
Call 1-800-979-3269 and see how affordable term life insurance can be. That's 1-800-979-3269. 1-800-979-3269. Or go to selectquote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details on the example policy at selectquote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group. On the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Baltimore Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Jane Metzler.
65 seconds before the end of the recording.
the train speed went above 70 miles per hour.
The NTSB's Robert Sumwalt reviewing a tape from the Amtrak train that derailed Tuesday night in Philadelphia. He says 16 seconds before it ends, the train was up to 100 miles an hour. The engineer who applied the emergency brake as that train approached a curve has agreed to talk to investigators. A cadaver dog locating the body of an 8th victim today.
On this vote, the yeas are 400, the nays are 25.
A bill requiring congressional review of any agreement with Iran over its nuclear program overwhelmingly passing the House and is headed to the president's desk. He says he'll sign it. Persian Gulf leaders wrap up Camp David talks about Iran, agreeing a verifiable nuclear deal is in their best interest. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM, The Answer.
Each week and every Saturday afternoon, whether you're remodeling an existing house or building a new one, doing it yourself or hiring a professional, we're here to bring you interviews with the experts and take your phone calls. And we bring it to you with a little dream, whether it be energy efficiency or organic products for your house. So join us each week for a little House Talk Today.
House Talk Today, Saturday afternoon from 1 to 3 on 660 AM, The Answer.
For almost 2 decades, financial advisor and educator Rick Poston with Empowered Wealth Financial Services has provided peace of mind to thousands who see or hear him in the media or read his work. Rick has been chosen by Bloomberg Business Week magazine as one of the top 20 game-changing financial advisors in the country. A fan of Rick's profound teaching, Brian Tracy, world-renowned business leader, speaker, and best-selling author, has asked Rick to co-author his newest book entitled The Winning Way, where Rick will share with his fans some of the principles that allow Rick's clients to continue on their winning way. If you are looking to break away from that same old investment plan that has provided you with one too many disappointments, stay tuned to 660 AM The Answer every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock for the most educational hour on financial talk radio with Empowered Wealth Radio, live. Or call 469-361-4020.
When the economy crashed in 2008, the Fed lowered interest rates. They've been low ever since. But now the economy's improving, and most experts believe the Fed will start raising interest rates very soon. That means you should refinance your mortgage now to pull cash out of your home at today's low rates, because once the Fed starts raising rates, they probably won't stop. So beat the Fed to the punch and refi your mortgage before it's too late by making the cash call at 855-875-CASH. Today, Cash Call Mortgage is offering a 15-year fix at 2.875% rate and APR with no closing costs. You have the chance to pull tens of thousands out of your home, lock in a low rate, and pay absolutely nothing out of pocket, but you have to act now. Cash Call Mortgage is designed to save. Call 855-875-CASH today.
Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. 1 City Boulevard, West Suite 200, Orange, California 92868. Equal housing lender. Call 866-900-8744 for terms and restrictions. Subject to loan underwriting. Rates may change without notice. NMLS number 128231.
That's 855-875-CASH.
Another hot Texas summer is upon us, and Mathis Air and Heat has a great offer for you right off the bat. With the American Standard All-Star Sales Event, Mathis Air is offering 100% financing and 0% interest for up to 60 months. That's 60 months on complete qualifying American Standard systems with approved credit or cash rebates. Mathis Air knows that's a home run, and with free estimates on equipment replacements, that's a grand slam. When it comes to service, call 972-279-4COOL for a $39 service call. Don't get thrown a curveball. Go with the company you can trust. As a certified customer care dealer, Mathis Air is about quality, honesty, and a great installation, because that's what matters most. Special financing or rebates available on qualifying products. See Mathis Air and Heat, your independent American Standard dealer, for details. Or call 888-840-8084 for financing program details about credit costs. Offer expires June 30th, 2015. Make sure you're working with the best. Mathis Air and Heat. Call now, 972-279-4COOL. That's 972-279-4266.
In the early 60s, Dolores and Ray Butcher and their 3 daughters earned a trip to Disneyland by collecting S&H green stamps. It was a dream come true. Today, nearly everyone has a wallet or keychain full of loyalty reward cards that they use for discounts, gifts, and even free dinners at their favorite restaurants. For years, an international company has been offering a universal loyalty rewards card in Europe. We call it the Blue Card, one card to replace dozens. The Blue Card offers discounts up to 5% cash back. It even accumulates points to shop at participating merchants and an online mall. Today, they're looking for independent representatives to launch this card in the U.S. and Canada. It is free to get the card and free to become a representative. You could help launch the Blue Card in your area and get paid wherever it is used. Imagine you could be paid every time someone fills their gas tank, buys groceries, orders an airline ticket, or purchases just about anything.
To get your free Blue Card, go to bluecardshopping.com. That's bluecardshopping.com. bluecardshopping.com.
Our sister station.
94.9 KLTY and Interstate Batteries present Celebrate Freedom 25.
Extra, extra. Get your red hot t-shirts.
Nothing brings home the memories like the official Celebrate Freedom 25 t-shirt. And if you order yours this week, you'll receive a VIP seat.
Extra, extra. We've got it all. So many styles. So many ways to look good.
Hurry, this offer ends this week. Get your official Celebrate Freedom 25 t-shirt and a VIP seat at CelebrateFreedom.com.
Hi, folks. Bill Thomas here with Accurate Foundation Repairs. If you think your home has foundation issues, we'll send one of our highly trained technicians out to give you a free, accurate assessment of your home's foundation at no charge. Accurate Foundation Repair is the only company in the industry that has its warranty backed up by a third-party insurance company. Structure home warranty. Call Accurate Foundation Repair now, 972-623-2500, or on the web at AccurateFoundationRepair.com.
Accurate Foundation Repair. We give you a lift for a whole lot less.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Hi. Hello. How are you? So there's something weird happening at ABC News. Very strange, in fact. And, oh, by the way, pretty darn disappointing, too. Let's take you back to 1996, courtesy of the Washington Examiner. Last week, ABC News announced it had hired departing presidential aide George Stephanopoulos as a contributor to This Week, Good Morning America, and other programs. The network seemed delighted with the catch. Mr. Stephanopoulos is one of the best-known, most articulate presidential advisors this country has ever seen, said then News President Roone Arledge. His vast knowledge of Washington politics and policy will be an enormous asset to ABC News. The announcement created some confusion about Mr. Stephanopoulos' role. A press release issued by ABC stated that he would serve both as a political analyst and a correspondent. Vice President of News, Joanna Bistani, now says Mr. Stephanopoulos will be just an analyst. He will not report news or question guests on This Week. Ms. Bistani said his role will be similar to that of ABC contributor William Crystal, who was Dan Quayle's chief of staff. We want a mix of voices, she says, adding that Mr. Stephanopoulos will not do anything that has any appearance of conflict. I was on the air in 1996, and I brought that up as, you're kidding me, right? That was one of my you're kidding me moments. That's when I started becoming exquisitely disappointed with ABC News, which I had watched ever since I was a kid. I've said this before. It was one of the greatest moments of my broadcasting life when I went to work for ABC. I wanted to be one of those big-time ABC DJs, and I made it. And when I got there, the incompetence virus had already taken hold. And all those genius managers, all of those genius managers that worked for that genius broadcasting company began to leave. By the way, in case you're wondering, the former company I used to work for now owns all of those great radio stations, and all of them are seeing low ratings, are setting low ratings records, all-time low ratings records. It's a sad thing to see. And it's because of stuff like this. So they hired George Stephanopoulos in 1996. And everyone knew immediately that he was a guy who was, he's a partisan politician. He was a presidential advisor to Bill Clinton. And the biasometer on ABC News pegged. And it has been pegged ever since. That was the beginning of ABC News becoming the liberal rag that it is now. And it's hard for me to say those words. It's hard for me to do that. And so now comes the news, first reported by the Washington Free Beacon. ABC News chief anchor, George Stephanopoulos, so much for conflict of interest. ABC News chief anchor George Stephanopoulos donated $50,000 to the Clinton Foundation in recent years. The contribution is publicly available information, but the host had not previously disclosed it to ABC viewers, despite taking part in on-air discussions about the Clinton Foundation and its controversial relationship with foreign donors. George Stephanopoulos, ABC News chief anchor now, as we fast forward from 1996 to 2015, donates $50,000 to the Clinton administration or the Clinton Foundation, and then talks about the Clinton Foundation on ABC News this week. And yeah, on the Today Show. Or not the Today Show, I'm sorry, Good Morning America. Unbelievable. So much for conflict of interest. Oh, and that $50,000 number? That was edited. That was a mistake. It wasn't $50,000. Thank goodness. I know. Man, can you imagine giving up to $50,000 to the Clinton Foundation and then talking about it on the air as a part of your job? Really? Well, thank goodness it wasn't $50,000. The bad news is it was $75,000. ABC News chief anchor George Stephanopoulos has given $75,000 to the Clinton Foundation in recent years, charitable contributions that he did not publicly disclose while reporting on the Clintons or their nonprofit organization. In 2012, 2013, and 2014, Stephanopoulos made $25,000 donations to the 501 nonprofit founded by former President Bill Clinton. Stephanopoulos never disclosed that information to its viewers, even when interviewing author Peter Schweizer last month about the book Clinton Cash. You suppose that was a biased interview? In a statement to the On Media blog today, Stephanopoulos apologized and said that he should have disclosed the donations to ABC News and its viewers. Quote, I made charitable donations to the foundation in support of the work they're doing on global AIDS prevention and deforestation, causes I care about deeply. I thought my contributions were a matter of public record. However, in hindsight, I should have taken the extra step of personally disclosing my donations to my employer and to the viewers on air during the recent news stories about the foundation. I apologize. My work here is done. Now let me get back to being the ABC News chief anchor man. Ugh. In its own statement on today, ABC News said it was standing behind its star anchor. Quote, as George has said, he made charitable donations to the foundation to support a cause he cares about deeply and believed its contributors and contributions were a matter of public record. He should have taken the extra step to notify us and our viewers during the recent news reports about the foundation. He's admitted to an honest mistake and apologized for that omission. We stand behind him. Really? Yeah. ABC News later told the On Media blog that it would not take any punitive action against Stephanopoulos. We accept his apology. It was an honest mistake. They did say, however, that George was going to be off of his typical broadcast on This Week, the ABC News Sunday morning program, while he rearranges the deck chairs on the Titanic. How much of President Clinton's outright lying to the American people was the result of George Stephanopoulos telling him what to do next, as he was, of course, the star advisor to President Clinton? This is inexcusable. This is absolutely inexcusable. 75 grand. But he apologized. So it's all over, right? Ted Cruz, right on top of it, said this. He told reporters that ABC News' George Stephanopoulos is a partisan Democrat who is actively supporting former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. He was asked if Stephanopoulos should be hosting any debates in 2016. Cruz said, "Of course not. Debates should not be moderated by partisan Democrats who are actively supporting one of the candidates, Candy Caroli." Senator Rand Paul also said Stephanopoulos shouldn't be allowed to host any debates in 2016. It's impossible to divorce yourself from that, even if you try. I just think it's really, really hard because he's been there so close to them. There would be a conflict of interest if he tried to be the moderator of any sort. Well, but the good news is if he makes a mistake while moderating the debates, he can fix it by sending another 25 grand to the Clinton Foundation. It's assumed as well that Stephanopoulos will not be allowed to host any general election debates either. No. But what about the coverage? He's the chief anchor man. Is he going to be in the control room? Is he going to be on the set in 2016 as ABC News talks about the incredible loss the Democrat Party is going to suffer in that election? Huh? If I was the news director of ABC News, I'd make him sit there. And then I'd fire him. I wouldn't fire him. I'd pay off his contract. Why in heaven's name would you hire somebody like George Stephanopoulos to be the anchor of one of the big three networks? It pains me because ABC was it. ABC was it, man. Golly. This is be careful what you wish for. The Telecom Act of 1996 was when George Stephanopoulos was hired. As soon as it didn't matter anymore whether you were biased or not, as soon as it didn't matter whether you told the truth in your newscast or differentiated between news and opinion, they hired George Stephanopoulos. The good news is, I guess, is that gave rise to the incredible success of Fox News. By the way, in case you're wondering, Hillary Clinton's campaign manager interned for George Stephanopoulos. Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, Robbie Mook, in the acknowledgement section of the 1999 tell-all memoir, All Too Human. Stephanopoulos' book, described as a new generation political memoir of a man who got his hands on the levers of awesome power at an early age, was written after he left the Clinton administration and returned to Columbia to be a visiting professor. Mook was an undergrad student at Columbia during Stephanopoulos' brief tenure, was already politically active. He was a member of the College Democrats, was active in Democrat politics in his home state of Vermont. He was also part of a new team of interns that worked under Stephanopoulos' research assistant at Columbia, responsible for reviewing thousands of pages of public records and making sure that Stephanopoulos got his facts straight. So he could bias them properly, I suppose. You're listening to the Wells Report.
America was built by people with a few dollars and a dream. And while many don't know it, there's one path to success that still only requires a dream and about $10. That's right. If your dream is to start or grow your business, something as simple as the right business card could make all the difference. And today at Vistaprint.com, you can get 500 full-color business cards for only $9.99. That's right, 500 business cards for just $9.99. What's more, you can choose between hundreds of designs or upload your own and customize them easily. And because they're from Vistaprint.com, the cards are of top quality and your satisfaction is 100% guaranteed. So visit Vistaprint.com today and get 500 shots at turning your dream into reality. Hurry, because this offer won't last long. To get your 500 business cards for just $9.99, go to Vistaprint.com. Click on the link in the upper right corner and use promo code 1515. That's Vistaprint.com. Click on the link in the upper right corner and use promo code 1515.
Hey, Jim, come on in. Bill, this is such a great house. Thanks. 3 beds, 2 baths, and wait till you see the pool. How'd you get the down payment? We didn't have to. We called NASA Federal Credit Union at 855-374-NASA and got a 0-down fixed-rate mortgage with no private mortgage insurance on a jumbo loan. You must be saving hundreds a year with no PMI. More like thousands. And with no money down, we were able to add the pool. And it was fast. We got pre-qualified online in seconds and closed our loan within 30 days guaranteed. If you're buying a home, you gotta call NASA Federal at 855-374-NASA or visit nasafcu.com/374. Wow, with 0 down and no PMI, we could buy that house Jen likes and furnish it too. But you don't work for NASA. You don't have to work for NASA to get a mortgage with NASA Federal. Just call 855-374-NASA or visit nasafcu.com/374. Thanks for the tip. Now can I see the pool?
Equal housing lender. Offer valid on approved credit for primary residences. Membership eligibility required. For more details about credit cost terms and conditions, call 855-374-NASA.
Hello, this is Bob Guess. For more than a year, you've heard me talk about our incredible 9% return backed by hard assets. Well, listen closely. For a very limited time, we have a short-term investment which pays a flat 10% return for a 1-year commitment. $50,000 at a 10% return will earn you $5,000. That's right, a 10% return in 1 year. It would take you 12.5 years to earn that much with a CD, and your money is backed dollar for dollar. In my 35 years in financial planning, I've rarely seen a better opportunity for security-minded people. Many of you have money sitting in banks and insurance companies. That money is going nowhere fast. Others of you are concerned about the volatility of the stock market or a long-term commitment. You can change all that. Get great returns and peace of mind for a 1-year commitment. Don't be left out. Now is the time to call me at 972-570-4444. That's 972-570-4444.
Okay, you're on. We're here live from Niagara Falls for this year's Spring Festival. Wait, what?
That'll do it.
Great job, Will. You two, what are you doing?
Sorry, Canada. You had a leak.
Look, it's Will Nell and Fred Thompson from American Leak Detection.
American Leak Detection.
Guys, come over here. Come here. All right. Here with me now are the guys with American Leak Detection. Please explain yourselves.
Well, at American Leak Detection, we have been detecting and repairing hidden leaks in your home for more than 25 years, big or small.
And all without damaging your home. We can even repair leaks in your swimming pools, since that time is getting close. Hey, looks like DFW needs us. Just go to AmericanLeakDetection.com to schedule us to come out. That's AmericanLeakDetection.com.
This plan is not insurance and does not meet minimum credible coverage requirements under the Affordable Care Act. This discount card program contains a 30-day cancellation refund period. Administrator and benefits limited, Dallas, Texas, not available in all states.
I'm a mother. When my kids were growing up, I can't tell you how many times they had a cold, an ear, or sinus infection. I already knew it was the same thing one of the other kids had 3 months before. Could I get a doctor to call me at home? No, I had to take off work or worse, bundle all the other kids and go to the doctor's office. Well, not anymore. RealMedSavings.com is like a discount club for healthcare. At RealMedSavings.com, you just call the 800 number and a board-certified doctor calls you back in about 15 minutes, talks to you about what it is, and then calls in a prescription if it's needed. You pay nothing for this doctor's call because you're a member of the club. RealMedSavings.com is not insurance, just real savings on everyday medical problems for your whole family. Go to RealMedSavings.com. Save money and time. RealMedSavings.com. It's worth going there.
Listen to us live on iHeartRadio, 660 AM. The Answer. Only for Texas. This is the Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Mark Davis will appear tomorrow for a radio extravaganza. He shows up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and for the incredible Bill Bennett, he is on the air coast to coast for 3 hours, and then 2 hours for Texas. It's 5 hours, and this is what he's going to be talking about. Mark?
Hey, JD, good Thursday evening. Coming up for a Friday morning. It's a valuable thing to identify the left as suppressors of free speech. It's even more valuable when people on the left realize they're doing it. How many of you have enjoyed Kirsten Powers on Fox News, one of my favorite Fox liberals? They actually have them, or they have MSNBC conservatives, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, Kirsten has written a book called The Silencing, about liberal intolerance. And she'll join us for a Friday morning at 8:05. But before that, 3 big action-packed hours of Morning in America starting at 5. So woohoo! In there somewhere between 5 and 10, we'll do something you like. Mark Davis for a Friday morning on 660 AM. The Answer.
Thank you, Marcus. We'll look forward to it tomorrow. Friday's show on 660 AM. The Answer. So the main anchor of ABC News, the main anchor, the chief anchor, George Stephanopoulos, is caught right in the middle of a $75,000 conflict of interest. How are you going to report on the Clinton Foundation when you give the organization $75,000? The answer is you're not. Now, I've been talking about this for years. What I want to know is whether you care one way or another that George Stephanopoulos, a partisan Democrat, is actually a chief anchorman for one of the big 3 news organizations in the world. Do you care? Yes or no? And why? 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. Do you care that George Stephanopoulos is a biased partisan politician, supposedly giving you and commenting with you on the news? That's awful. It is just absolutely awful. Keith Olbermann is one of the most leftist broadcasters ever. He is. But when he started giving money to leftist causes, he told people about it immediately. George Stephanopoulos didn't want to tell anybody anything. And so he didn't. And you know what this takes me back to? This takes me back to something that I said last week. Is it possible to have successful leftist politics without dishonesty? The answer is no. It's not possible for leftist politics in the United States to exist without dishonesty. I want you to give me one example of leftist politics that was honest. One. 866-660-5759. How did the Democrat Party find itself in this disarray? How did it find itself in this mess where it cannot function as a political party without dishonesty? How did that happen? What can they do about it? What can we do if they don't do anything about it? Well, we're doing it. We vote them out of office, and we better keep doing it. This is the Wells Report.
They say every healthy relationship should have a balance of predictability and spontaneity. In fact, it is that assurance of security that makes the spontaneous possible. Your relationship with your car should be a little like that too. With our industry-leading unlimited mileage warranty, your certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz instills a sense of confidence. You drive away knowing that you can keep driving for up to 3 years and never have to worry about the miles. Add to that our complimentary prepaid maintenance on select models, and your certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz becomes the ultimate carefree escape vehicle. Only during the Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned Sales event going on now through June 1st can you receive your first 2 months payments on us on select models, plus 3 months of Sirius XM satellite radio. So hurry in today. It might just be the most predictable spur-of-the-moment decision you've ever made.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know how or where to begin? Do you fear your job is in jeopardy, or is your business income reduction keeping you awake at night? We're in the best time in 25 years to make a fortune in real estate without using your money or credit. My name is Ron LeGrand, and I've taught 500,000 people to do just that and personally bought hundreds of houses myself. If you'll call 800-473-7178, 24 hours, and leave your information, I'll send you the first 500 callers my hot new CD, Foreclosure Fortunes, and my best-selling book to help you get started absolutely free. I'll show you how to build a 6-figure income part-time with no previous experience and no license, even if you're a busy professional. Call 800-473-7178, 24 hours, and get my new book and CD. That's 800-473-7178. Take your life back and make this your best year ever. Call 800-473-7178.
When you pay your mobile phone bill, are you making a political statement? Probably so. You don't even know that it's politics you might not agree with. Hey, it's Mark Davis. Major mobile companies have given more than $50 million to liberal candidates and causes. Now there's a cellular company that gives 5% to conservative causes while still saving you money. Welcome to EOS Mobile. The same service, the same quality, a better price, and a better cause. Go to EOScell.com, EOSCELL.com. Meet a company that'll save you 10 to 15% on the same phone, data, and text plans. And their corporate contributions go to organizations and candidates for smaller government, a stronger America, and following the Constitution. Imagine that. And text and talk plans start at $9.99 with a free phone. Do you want part of your mobile phone bill to help Obama, Hillary, and that side of American politics? Great service, great prices, and support for conservative causes with EOS Mobile. Go to EOScell.com. That's EOSCELL.com. EOScell.com.
In 2002, a National Sleep Foundation poll found that 63% of women experience symptoms of insomnia at least a few nights per week. In my opinion, a major reason for insomnia is the Blue Card. It's a shopping and loyalty card, and it's free. That's right, free. No charge, nada. Next, you can receive up to 5% cash back on purchases. Most cards only offer 2% at most. No wonder girls can't sleep. With the Blue Card, you can also get shopping points that you could use for online purchases. So it's cash back and shopping points. Am I keeping you awake? If you refer the Blue Card to someone, you could even earn money on their purchases. No, I'm serious. It's true. But it gets better. If you share the Blue Card with a merchant, you could earn on the purchases of everyone who uses the Blue Card at their store, too. There's no way you're going to get any sleep until you get your own free Blue Card.
To get your free Blue Card, go to bluecardshopping.com. That's bluecardshopping.com. bluecardshopping.com.
Did you know colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in Texas, but that 90% of colon cancers can be avoided with early detection? Southwest Endoscopy and Surgery Center is the first facility in North Texas to use the revolutionary Fuse Full Spectrum Endoscopy System, enabling a 330-degree panoramic view of your colon. Due for a colonoscopy? Don't become a statistic. Insist on Fuse. Contact Southwest Endoscopy and Surgery Center at 817-293-9292 or visit swgiclinic.com.
We work with lots of people that are retired or retiring soon. A question that seems to be on everyone's mind is, when is the best time to take Social Security and how do I make it work with my retirement portfolio? Hi, this is Ken Moraif, host of the Money Matters radio show, inviting you to our next free retirement seminar. Get answers and more.
This special free seminar is May 19th at Alliance Gateway, May 21st Rockwall, or May 23rd in Plano. Reserve now at moneymatters.net. That's moneymatters.net.
This is 660 AM. The Answer. The Wells Report. A daily good old-fashioned North Texas barbecue of anybody trying to take advantage of us on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells, 866-660-5759. ABC News chief anchor George Stephanopoulos gave $75,000 to the Clinton Foundation and still reported the story as a news anchor. It's called a conflict of interest. It's called inexcusable broadcast misconduct, especially when it comes to news. People would be fired for that. People would be fired for that before 1996. You can't let America's free press become America's free propaganda. You cannot let America's free press become America's free pravda. Can't do it. One of the things that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to figure out how to get real journalists on television. And I don't know how that's going to happen. I do, but it's going to require something that we haven't seen for a while. You have to remember there's an entire generation of people who think The Daily Show is the news. Now, make no mistake, Jon Stewart did a dang good job with that show. He really did. You know, I watched The Daily Show. It was very, very good. There was a bit of news in it. But that it was biased in a very funny way. That it was leftist, again, in a very funny way. There were many moments of stark and beautiful objectivity on that broadcast, done in a very funny way. But that's not the news. CNN is not the news. CNN is a recitation of the stories of the day filtered through the lens of the political understandings of the commentators. And somebody just said, pot, as in pot calling the kettle. I report the news. I tell you when I'm telling you what my opinion is. But I give you the news. Good, bad, or indifferent. I have said that if someone thinks I'm biased, it's only because I haven't figured out how to describe what the Obama administration does, held up to the bright light of the Constitution of the United States, and be able to find anything that would sound balanced. Is it because I'm just biased? Yeah, toward the Constitution of the United States, not the Republican Party. What you hear me discuss are my beliefs about what America is, not what my beliefs of what the Republican Party should be. I do say what the Republican Party should be, a lot more conservative. My idea of what conservatism is nowhere close to being a Republican. But I want to know whether you care. Does it matter to you that the person telling you the news, or supposedly telling you the news, Does it matter if those people are partisan politicians or partisan political operatives? Does it matter? 866-660-5759. It's okay to say no, John. It doesn't matter to me. I know you're passionate about this. This is your profession. True. It is my profession. But I can do what I am criticizing George Stephanopoulos for not being able to do. And I don't know why he's not able to do it, except for the fact that he's a Democrat. Unabashedly so. A Clinton political operative masquerading as ABC News chief anchor. He has no business being a chief anchor anywhere. He could be the preeminent political commentator for the left on any network for any reason. He's good at that. But he has no business telling anybody what's going on because he can't. He can't do it. And yeah, it damages the country. I don't know what's going to fix it. I've asked several times at this point whether or not you care. And apparently you don't. But there was a reason why we were given a free press by our framers and founders of this nation. There was a reason why the government could not reach in and savage those reporters at will. And that is so the government would not be able to control the news. And that is exactly what they want to do. You don't believe me? The President of the United States said during a speech at Georgetown University that I have to say, if you watched Fox News on a regular basis, it's a constant venue. They will find folks who make me mad. I don't know where they find them. They're all like, I don't want to work. I just want a free Obama phone or whatever. And that becomes an entire narrative that gets everybody worked up. And very rarely do you hear an interview of a waitress, which is much more typical, who's raising a couple of kids and doing everything right, but still can't pay the bills. If she's a waitress with 2 kids, she's not doing everything right. Then he screwed up by saying this. We're going to have to change how our body politic thinks, which means we're going to have to change how the media reports on these issues. Who's going to change how the media reports on these issues? You? The government? Is that how you're going to do it, Mr. President? You're just going to take your pen and your phone and you're going to write another executive order? Effective immediately, you have to report things that I consider to be nice. You have to find people that don't exist and interview them to give us an example of something that doesn't exist so that I can stay here and say that my policies and plans create this as some sort of reality when it isn't. That's called propaganda, Mr. President. And what you are doing is you are advocating that we, the power elite, change the way the media does its job. Todd Starnes says it this way. I am afraid our constitutional law professor turned commander-in-chief is not aware of something called the First Amendment. That's the one that says keep your Saul Alinsky community organizing paws out of our newsrooms. Stand down your threats, Mr. President. It really is beneath the dignity of your office. It's not beneath the dignity of his office. It's beneath the dignity of the presidency, but not beneath the dignity of President Obama's presidency. Thomas Jefferson said that there was only one group of people in the United States that knew what liberty, freedom was. One group. You know who he was referring to? Was he talking about the government? No. The clergy? The judges? No. The people. We're the only ones that know what freedom and liberty is. We know it when we see it. We especially know it when it's taken away from us. The good news about America is that we take it back when it's taken away from us. At least we always have. But where is that now? The President of the United States said in front of everyone that we need to change the way the media reports the news. No, Mr. President, we don't. You need to get your grimy mitts off of our news and keep them off of our news. What you need to do is you need to stand up and tell the mainstream media that they're screwing up, that they should tell the truth, but you can't do that, can you? You can't do that, can you? No, because you want the media to be the dutiful lapdogs that it, by the way, has been during your presidency, but that's not good enough for you, is it, Mr. President? You see, that's the thing. Let's take the openly hostile press corps of George W. Bush, and let's apply that level of scrutiny to this president. But that's not what this president wants. I mean, he has gotten softball after biased reporting, after edited reporting, after no reporting. I spend more time on British and, oh, by the way, Russian news sites because they're the only people that tell the truth about this president. It's not like it's hard to spot. It's not even good propaganda. It's dishonesty for political effect. And one of the ringleaders is giving $75,000 to somebody who wants to be the president of the United States, not as a campaign contribution. No, not a campaign contribution. No, this is about influence buying. That's where all this is going. And the president of the United States wants all this changed so that he hears something that he likes on Fox News. That should send shivers up and down your spine. When I started doing the Wells Report in 2001, people laughed at me. They said, "What are you going to do, be Edward R. Murrow?" I said, "No. I'm not going to be Edward R. Murrow. I'm just going to be a guy that tells the truth." And I'm going to leaven my truth telling with the truth telling of people who disagree, because I'm always going to ask them a question. I'm always going to ask them if I'm wrong. I'm always going to ask them to convince me otherwise. I'm not here to try to manipulate the people who listen to this broadcast. I'm here to share the news and what we think about it with each other. Agree, disagree. That's not the mission. The mission is to provide the discussion, the commentary, the facts, the news. Have the discussion, and then allow those who don't take part directly in that conversation to determine if anything of value has been spoken. Any concept of worth has been shared. Not necessarily by me, by anybody else that wants to be a part of the show, that wants to be a part of this discussion, that wants to be a part of what mainstream media has abdicated. Freedom of the press. My grandfather put it on paper. I'm putting it on the air. As a professional, I know this is damaging to this nation. As a consumer, I'm not sure that you know how damaging it is. But please consider what I've told you about this in this hour. Please consider it. Because while you may understand that you're not getting the news from all of these supposed news outlets, your kids may not know. And your less informed neighbors may not know. And they vote too. This is the Wells Report.
Hi, this is Andy Tuttle, host of Tuttle Talk every Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer. We're in a real estate market where there's a lot of difficulty, but in difficulty, there's a lot of opportunity as well. Buying, selling, avoiding foreclosure, modifying your credit, all these things are so important to your livelihood. This show is dedicated to cutting through some of the big headlines that you see out there and teaching you how to win in any marketplace. Thank you for tuning in to Tuttle Talk every Sunday, 4 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer. I look forward to speaking with you.
This is Michael Medved for townhall.com. Some Americans watched recent elections in Britain with envy because so many parties competed for power. Conservatives, Labour, Liberal Democrats, Scottish National Party, UK Independence Party, and Greens all contested seats in Parliament. The results brought victory to David Cameron's Conservatives, but a split electorate only gave him 36% of total votes. Critics insist this means a shaky government and dubious mandate. A similar result afflicted Israel in recent elections, with votes split among 6 parties. Prime Minister Netanyahu struggled to put together a viable government, despite the fact that he received far more votes than his principal challenger. Those who seek new American third parties should ponder these results. Our two-party system remains vital, offering voters a clear choice between increasingly liberal Democrats and more conservative Republicans. Emergence of additional factions on the fringe would only muddy voter decisions, producing the badly fragmented electorate that now characterizes 2 of our closest allies.
Dentist office, may I help you?
Hi, I'd like to cancel my teeth whitening appointment.
Oh, may I ask why?
I found a teeth whitener that works in 5 minutes that I can do from home.
Can I ask what it is?
It's called Power Swabs, and it whitens your teeth in 5 minutes, doesn't leave my teeth feeling sensitive, and it's a lot less expensive than visiting the dentist.
Hi, I'm John Greenhut, the CEO of Power Swabs. And if you want to whiten your teeth 2 shades in 5 minutes and 6 shades in 7 days, then try Power Swabs. There's no messy strips or trays that you'll have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth and you're done. It removes stains on natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. Try Power Swabs risk-free by calling 1-800-281-4037. That's 1-800-281-4037. I guarantee your friends and coworkers will be wowed by your new white smile. Try it risk-free and get free shipping and handling today. Dial 1-800-281-4037. That's 1-800-281-4037.
The Good Contractors List is a free service designed to protect you. We meet all of our home service contractors face-to-face and feel so confident in our final choices that we back their work with a $10,000 guarantee. We go the extra mile in our interview process to make sure that the contractor is not only honest in quality, but able to offer the most affordable and fair rates. For instance, how do you pick who you call for air conditioning? Did you know that the air conditioning industry is commonly known for misdiagnosis and unneeded upselling? The higher their overhead, the more money they need to stay in business. So they flash tempting offers to get their foot in the door, and the sales game is on. The air conditioning companies we choose are simply stable and proven companies that offer the highest quality at fair and honest rates. And to protect you, they've all agreed to do an absolutely free second opinion if you're being told that you have to replace your air conditioning unit. If you need AC or any other type of home service, visit thegoodcontractorslist.com first.
Contractors List. Hello, this is Bob Guess. For more than a year, you've heard me talk about our incredible 9% return backed by hard assets. Well, listen closely. For a very limited time, we have a short-term investment which pays a flat return or
Only for Texas. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. A majority of voters want Congress to continue investigating the Obama administration's handling of the attack on the U.S. diplomatic mission in Benghazi, Libya, that killed 4 Americans. They also assigned some appreciable blame to former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton for what happened there. This, according to a new Fox poll. 55% of voters blame Clinton a great deal or some for what happened at the U.S. consulate in Benghazi. While that's unchanged from last April, it's down a touch from 60% who felt she was at least somewhat to blame for somewhat to blame for the events that happened in Benghazi in January of 2014. In addition, 29% of Democrats feel Clinton was at least somewhat responsible. Nearly twice as many independents feel that way, as do almost all Republicans, 83%. The poll released today finds 56% want Congress to keep investigating the situation, down from 60% that said the same thing last year. 38% of voters oppose continuing the investigation. Among those who blame Clinton for Benghazi, 76% want lawmakers to keep looking into it. Ouch. Then Alan Combs said, I would like to see her cleared, but I'd like to see full investigations into Hillary Clinton's use of private email servers when she worked as the Secretary of State and for her work in the Clinton Foundation. Alan Combs is a leftist, but at least he's got a conscience. This is the Wells Report.
Hey, everybody, Mark Davis from my friends at Good Feet. I've been proud for years to send you to the Good Feet locations in Plano and in Fort Worth. And now I'm really glad to tell you about the third Good Feet location, South Lake, Texas, right there at 2615 East South Lake Boulevard, a couple of blocks east of Town Square on South Lake Boulevard between Kimball and Nolan. Know what happens in there? The same great results you've always gotten in Plano and in Fort Worth. Real people taking care of real foot problems. Foot pain can spread. It can become leg pain, hip pain, back pain. Let's get you out of pain. At goodfeetdfw.com, learn about all the locations, brand new in South Lake. Plano, still on the corner of Coit and the Bush Turnpike in front of Central Market. Fort Worth, 1 block south of I-20 on Bryant Irvin. And brand new Good Feet in South Lake, 2615 East South Lake Boulevard, 2 blocks east of Town Square. It's Good Feet, getting people out of pain today. America's #1 arch support. Check them out at goodfeetdfw.com. That's goodfeetdfw.com, Plano, Fort Worth, and South Lake.
Another hot Texas summer is upon us, and Mathis Air and Heat has a great offer for you right off the bat. With the American Standard All-Star Sales Event, Mathis Air is offering 100% financing and 0% interest for up to 60 months. That's 60 months of complete qualifying American Standard systems with approved credit or cash rebates. Mathis Air knows that's a home run, and with free estimates on equipment replacements, that's a grand slam. When it comes to service, call 972-279-4COOL for a $39 service call. Don't get thrown a curveball. Go with the company you can trust. As a certified customer care dealer, Mathis Air is about quality, honesty, and a great installation because that's what matters most. Special financing or rebates available on qualifying products. See Mathis Air and Heat, your independent American Standard dealer, for details. Or call 888-840-8084 for financing program details about credit costs. Offer expires June 30th, 2015. Make sure you're working with the best. Mathis Air and Heat. Call now, 972-279-4COOL. That's 972-279-4266. Warning, whether you're retired or soon to be retired, listen up. Do not be caught in one or more of the 11 mistakes retirees make that could cost you all of your money. It doesn't matter how well off you are financially, you could make the easy mistake that washes away all of your financial security. Call Optimum Retirement Planning today at 866-882-5447 to make sure that you are not wasting your money. Call now and receive your free copy of the 11 biggest mistakes retirees make and how to avoid them. 866-882-5447.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group. On the NASDAQ as SALM. KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Jane Metzler.
We will be
meeting with him in the next few days.
The NTSB's Robert Sumwalt says the engineer at the controls of the Amtrak train that derailed in Philadelphia Tuesday has agreed to be interviewed and will likely be asked why the train went from 70 to more than 100 miles an hour in about a minute. A week from today, the State Department hosts a delegation from Cuba for talks on normalizing relations. The NFL Players Association appeals Tom Brady's suspension in the Deflategate scandal.
The union asked for a neutral arbitrator to hear the case, even though the league's collective bargaining agreement stipulates that it will be decided by the commissioner, Roger Goodell, or a person he designates.
Fox Radio's Tanya J. Powers, a lawyer for the Patriots, claims an employee was nicknamed the Deflator not because he let the air out of Brady's footballs, but because he was trying to lose weight. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM, The Answer.
Each week and every Saturday afternoon, whether you're remodeling an existing house or building a new one, doing it yourself or hiring a professional, we're here to bring you interviews with the experts and take your phone calls. And we bring it to you with a little green, whether it be energy efficiency or organic products for your house. So join us each week for a little House Talk Today.
House Talk Today, Saturday afternoon from 1 to 3 on 660 AM, The Answer. Do you have an IRA or an old 401k from a previous employer? I'm Jon-David Wells from the Wells Report for InvestingMakesMeSick.com. Are you wondering about how to grow your investments to get to retirement, but want more choices than stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or annuities? Do you even understand your current investments? Let me introduce to you Walt Parker.
JD, as usual, the message is quite simple. There are many more investment choices than you realize. You've worked hard for your money for years, and now is the time to understand your investments and know your choices. InvestingMakesMeSick.com offers education and our We Come to You service and more choices than just stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and annuities.
Yes, sir. To schedule an appointment with Walt or an InvestingMakesMeSick.com advisor, call 972-463-3833, 972-463-3833, or log on to InvestingMakesMeSick.com. All investments involve risk. Investments may be considered speculative and incur substantial fees and expenses borne by the investor. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Titan Securities. InvestingMakesMeSick.com and Titan Securities are not affiliated.
If you're turning on the AC for the warm days of spring and it's just not working or not cooling the way it should, time to call Walker Air Conditioning. Hey, Mark Davis. My friends at Walker are a family business, but big enough to cover North Texas with reliable, honorable service for your AC units. No commission salesmen showing up. They're technicians sent to fix your problem at an affordable price. Oh, if it's time for a new unit, they've got all the best brands at all the best prices. But let Walker AC see what you need first with techs who know what they're doing from a company you can trust. 52 years in the business, stellar customer reviews, A+ from the Better Business Bureau, specialists in AC and refrigeration for homes and business. Got a wine cellar, a wine fridge? They'll fix yours or install a new one. Walker AC, making sure you are cool and comfortable. Walker Air Conditioning. Website is walkerac.com. That's walkerac.com. Phone number is 972-4-WALKER. 972-4-WALKER. walkerac.com.
Our family had a savings account until our air conditioner needed replacing.
We had a vacation fund before our refrigerator had a meltdown.
My family has no savings and our water heater just quit.
Sadly, sometimes it only takes one home system or appliance breakdown to bust your budget. But buying a home warranty from American Home Shield protects more of your hard-earned money because they help pay your covered repairs for you. For valuable free information, go to ahs.com or call 1-800-600-5107. Who wants to pour money into repairs for things like your air conditioner, refrigerator, plumbing, oven, or washer when you get the budget protection you deserve from American Home Shield? Service requests are subject to a fee for each trade called. Some exclusions and limitations apply. It's up to you. Pay for expensive home system and appliance repairs yourself or let AHS help pay covered repairs for you. Protect more of your hard-earned money. For valuable free information, including terms, rates, and coverage, go to ahs.com. That's ahs.com or call 1-800-600-5107.
If you're overwhelmed by debt and thinking about going to a credit counseling company for help, think again, because the majority of those companies actually work for the credit card companies. And they make the credit card companies a lot of money from people just like you. But there's another way out of debt, and it's not bankruptcy. A way to reduce your debts and save you thousands of dollars. Even better, you can find out how for free by calling 1-800-998-5539. At Freedom Debt Relief, we're not a credit counseling organization. We're not a debt consolidation company. We offer a unique alternative to save you the most money possible to resolve your debt in the shortest amount of time. If you're thinking about a credit counselor, ask yourself this: are they working for you or the credit card companies? Reduce your debts and save thousands of dollars by learning the secrets to settling your debt. For free information, call 1-800-998-5539. That's 1-800-998-5539. 1-800-998-5539.
According to Forbes magazine, Saudi Arabia's Prince Al-Walid, with over $21 billion, is the 35th richest person in the world. Being a Saudi prince, you just naturally assume he inherited his money, which I'm sure is partly true. However, he made a lot of his money by investing in banking and financial services, hotels and hotel management companies, mass media, entertainment, retail, agriculture, petrochemicals, aviation technology, and real estate all over the world. He's making money off about anything people buy anywhere. You may not be a Saudi prince, but you can make money on about anything people buy almost anywhere by getting your free blue card. The Blue Card is a loyalty rewards card that not only gets you discounts on purchases, but up to 5% cash back on what you buy. If you refer someone to the Blue Card, you could earn money on what they buy. And if you refer the Blue Card to a business, you could earn on the purchases of anyone who uses the Blue Card in their store or almost anywhere.
To get your free Blue Card, go to bluecardshopping.com. That's bluecardshopping.com. bluecardshopping.com.
660 AM. The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Reports. My name is Jon-David Wells. Hi. Hello. How's everything going? If you have gone to either of my Facebook pages, what you have seen is that we have come up with a way that almost guarantees that you will vote for Hillary Clinton. We actually have. We've actually done it. We've actually come up with a way that guarantees that you will vote for Hillary Clinton. By the way, we didn't even come up with it. All right? This was handed to us on a silver platter. I'll explain the whole thing in just a little bit. But first, let me get to Ray in Plano. Ray, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Wells Report. Sorry to make you wait so long, my friend.
That's right. I was just commenting that I certainly agree that George Stephanopoulos should have, eliminated himself from any discussion or news reporting having to do with something that he's directly involved in. Same as a judge or a member of the board of directors of a company recuses themselves from an issue that they have a personal interest in.
Right.
So that's for sure. I would say this, though. I would hold, if he was doing commentary, you hold that person to a different standard entirely.
Well, commentary, and look, I don't, you see, like I said, I think that George Stephanopoulos would be one of the best political analysts ever. As a matter of fact, he probably is. But here's the thing. The thing about this is that he is not the chief ABC political analyst. He is the ABC chief anchor, news anchor.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That's not his involvement in things like that put him in conflict.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it, and they knew it when they hired him in 1996. They said as much. They said, you know what, this is not something that he's going to be doing. He won't be questioning people. He won't be this. He'll be just another contributor to the broadcast, which was fine. But now he is the anchor of Good Morning America. He is the anchor of This Week with George Stephanopoulos, for crying out loud. And he carries the title of chief anchor for ABC News. It's beyond inexcusable.
Well, I agree, but there is one thing that I would say, though. I've never been entirely certain whether those guys are just talking heads or not. If that's the case, then it really doesn't matter because he's just reading off a teleprompter then.
Well, but he's responsible for the content.
Well, that's the point. I'm not really sure whether that's what they do. I mean, aren't they just talking heads?
Here's what happens. Okay, in a typical news circumstance, the stories come in. They are summarized by producers. The producers are all sitting around in front of computers all day long picking news stories. And what they do is they have an editorial meeting. Vicki and I do this very same thing, okay? They have an editorial meeting, they set up the actual cast and so on and so on. Then what they do is they turn the broadcast, complete with video and so on and so forth, over to the anchor. This would be George Stephanopoulos, the managing editor, if you will. And what they do is they sit there in their offices and they work on how the actual broadcast is going to be spoken. They build the actual narrative. And in that building of the narrative, when you are biased, and your job is not necessarily to report the news, your job is to report the greatness of the Democrat Party. It's just like Rand Paul said, you cannot divorce yourself from those two positions.
Yeah.
You can't do it. I am angry at the Republican Party, and I let that anger keep me on the straight and narrow when it comes to reporting on the Republican Party.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
okay.
fine.
So, but then again, I am biased in that I make it very plain, I am a conservative, not necessarily because of politics, because I think politics is a dirty business. My circumstance is that I am a conservative because this government is too big and it does too much, it's too expensive, and we get too little out of it. And so that's my whole reason, and I make that very plain. So when you hear me discussing what I'm talking about, I report things that are real, that I believe that are threats to our society, based on an American lens. Now, if you're going to be biased in America, is that not the way to do it?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's right. Well, but it's still commentary, though, and it's still going to be, at the end of the day, it's going to be your opinion.
True.
Right?
True. And that's why we have these checks and balances, these safeguards, where people like you can come and tell me that I'm full of crap.
Well, there is one thing. I hope you have a show one day when you cover this one issue before the elections get too close, and that is this. I am very concerned with the support that Ted Cruz is getting, that everyone seems to be ignoring the fact that he was not born in the United States.
He was born in Canada of an American mother.
That is correct. But this is the same thing that all the constitutional conservatives that were the birthers, if you will, were all over Barack Obama about, was the fact that he was not born in the United States, or they believed him not to be. Now, in this case, he definitely wasn't born in the United States.
Well, neither was John McCain.
Yes, but that is a legislated exception because he was born either on a U.S. military base or in an embassy, which is considered to be the territory of the United States.
Let me give you my point of view, okay?
Sure.
And my point of view on this is that yeah, I had problems with Ted Cruz's citizenry too. Okay, but because I thought a natural born citizen was someone who was born of two American citizens. Now, it didn't necessarily have to happen in America like John McCain, but you could be a citizen, you could be an American citizen, a natural born American citizen of two American citizens. They didn't have to be natural American citizens, they could be naturalized, right? But you had to have two American citizens have an American baby regardless of where they were born. Or you could be born in the United States of one or more American citizen parents. And in that particular case, in the case of Marco Rubio, he was born in America of non-American citizens. Yes. So the citizenship aspect of all of this is something that has changed in our lifetime. It has changed. And so what ended up happening is that once again, the political process trumped the constitutional understanding of a natural born citizen. And I don't like it. And I've made it plain, but I'm also in a situation where I'm going, okay, so what do we do about it now? Because we elected President Obama.
Yes, but Obama, at least as far as anyone can say, was born in the United States.
We don't know. All we know is that when he handed out a birth certificate. Okay. When he handed out that birth certificate, it was a multi-layer electronic document, which meant it was a forgery. Now everybody who brought that up got their butts kicked for it, including yours truly. I was criticized for that. But the thing about it is that it's real simple. I have a dear friend of mine who used to work for Microsoft. He understands all of this document preparing software because he wrote a lot of it. So now he's in a situation where he's going, I can take that document completely apart. I can tell you everything that was changed, how it was changed. And it was not done by professional forgers. It was done by political operatives that had a problem. Now, all that being said, where was the press? Where was the media to chase that story down? I'll tell you where they were, Ray. They were in the bag for the President of the United States.
Okay. All right. And let's just assume for a moment that's true.
Yeah.
All right. But
Yep.
again, if we make a big deal about the fact that he was not born in the United States, then how do we ignore it with Ted Cruz?
We don't. I don't. But here's what I've got. I've got Ted Cruz saying it's not a big deal. I've got the Republican Party saying it's not a big deal. I've got the Democrat Party saying it's not a big deal. In fact, the Democrat Party, looked at all of us and looked down their noses at us and called us birthers. And
Well, they'll make it a big deal once the election comes around.
Well,
I bet if he gets on the ticket, they'll make it a huge deal. Man.
but the thing about it is, Ray, how can they?
Easily.
Well,
I mean, it's a fact. He wasn't born in the United States.
Well, doesn't that kind of peg the hypocrisyometer?
You mean because you believe that Obama wasn't born in the United States?
Exactly.
Yes, but the problem there is there's no real evidence of that anyone's ever been able to substantiate. There's no real credible.
The moment that you could lift the birth date off of that document rendered the document a forgery. That no one has chased it down is because Eric Holder was the Attorney General. Now, remember, I've been bitching about this, for years as well, Ray. I've been sitting around saying, okay, so what the Attorney General became in the Obama administration was a guy to fix political misconduct so that there wasn't going to be anybody thrown in federal prison because of what they did during the Obama administration. It wasn't just this birth certificate and everybody that was responsible for creating it. It was also Lois Lerner. It's also all the people at the NSA that decided that they could take bulk collection of all of our calls and all of our texts and all of our emails. See, I am not saying that this isn't happening. I've been saying that it is happening. I've also been saying that it's wrong. And I've also been watching in amazement that nobody cares. That nobody cares enough to actually do anything about it.
Well, I would still say in this particular instance that when the time comes, if Cruz gets on the ticket, then you can be sure they'll talk about it then.
Well, all I can say is, Ray, that when they start talking about it, I'm talking about the Democrat Party calling either Marco Rubio's citizenship.
I'm talking about
well, Marco Rubio, actually, Ted Cruz has a better claim on American citizenship than Marco Rubio. So the thing about it is once they start complaining, I'm going to start calling those people birthers. I'm going to start calling those people, I'm going to use every bit of the rhetoric that they threw at us when we said the document that proves his birth in Hawaii, talking about President Obama, is a forgery because they did not have all of the equipment that they had to create that document in 1961 when he was born. And that's how that would have to be. There would have to be somebody in a time machine taking word and, oh, by the way, a document, a computer to run it back in time to the registrar's office when Barack Obama was supposedly born in Hawaii.
Well, I really can't comment on that because what you're discussing now is something that I don't think is known to many people. So
well, it actually is, but it's been suppressed. The other thing, Ray, and this is just something else, once again, with all due respect to the President of the United States, and he is the president, why doesn't his Social Security card get through E-Verify? These are things that are These are things, once again,
I mean,
that all
what are you? Are you saying that his card wouldn't go through E-Verify?
his card does not go through E-Verify. As a matter of fact, it was issued in New York. He's never worked in New York.
Well, that doesn't matter. It can be issued anywhere.
No. You get your first security card. You get your first Social Security card in the state where you got your first job. You're listening to the Wells Report.
20 years of credit counseling and debt management services. More than 36,000 program members freed from credit card debt. Nearly $100 million saved in high interest and finance charges. It's Trinity's 20th anniversary, and these are just a few of the milestones we're celebrating as we begin our third decade of helping people become debt-free for keeps. Did you know that members who complete our program save on average more than $20,000 in interest?
My name is Mike. From the very first phone call, Trinity brought us relief by stopping all the late fees and collections calls, greatly reducing our interest and consolidating our bills into one easy-to-manage monthly payment. Now we're on track to save nearly $17,000 in finance charges. Happy 20th anniversary, Trinity. Thanks for helping so many save so much.
And Trinity can help you too. Call 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976. 1-800-990-6976.
There is something about the road that beckons, that invites us to pack up the family and leave the world behind. And there is something about an industry-leading unlimited mileage warranty on a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz that gives us the freedom to do exactly that. You take to the highway, rack up the miles for up to 3 years, and drive with the assurance that your Mercedes-Benz is covered. You have the security of being in a car that has been certified to Mercedes-Benz standards, while you enjoy a carefree ownership experience for miles and miles. But while the mileage is unlimited, your time to take advantage of our certified pre-owned sales event is not. Now through June 1st, you can also receive complimentary prepaid maintenance and your first 2 months payments on us on select models, plus 3 months of Sirius XM satellite radio. So hurry into your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer today and see why we say the odometer is there to record the memories.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
Look, honey, this ad says we can get a new air conditioning unit for only $1,500.
That's incredible. Let's get it now.
There you go. Enjoy.
Wait, what?
You didn't think we'd install it for that price, did you?
There you go, folks. In this business, if it sounds too good to be true, well, then it probably is. I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning, and if you're tired of crazy gimmicks, give us a call. Our techs don't work on commission, and we don't do high-pressure sales. Right now, with Carrier's Cool Cash, you can save over $3,500 on a new Infinity system. Plus, you might also qualify for an additional $1,000 off from your utility provider. So call the other guys first, and then call Reliant Air Conditioning, and you'll see how we've been gimmick-free since '83. Our number's 877-YOUR-HERO. That's 877-968-7437 or ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
Does the idea of having your home sold on time without hassle and for top dollar, does that seem unrealistic to you? Well, it doesn't have to. Hey, Dallas, it's your friend Sean Hannity with your solution and the one real estate agent to sell your home guaranteed. That's Josh DeShong of Josh DeShong Real Estate at Keller Williams. On average, Josh sells a home every 32 hours and averages hundreds of local, national, and international buyers every single week. Now, that means your home sells on time at a price that you agreed to, guaranteed, or Josh will buy it. He spends 200 times more money on marketing than the average agent. Real estate mogul and Shark Tank star Barbara Corcoran only recommends Josh in DFW. And if I lived in Dallas and needed my home sold, guess what? I'd call Josh DeShong, and you should too. Call Josh now at 972-325-6644 or go online at getsold.net. That's 972-325-6644 or getsold.net.
Have you ever considered joining the military but stopped because you couldn't deploy to a foreign country? Believe it or not, the state of Texas has its own military force that stands alongside the Texas National Guard, the Texas Air National Guard, and serves only inside the state of Texas. It's called the Texas State Guard. I'm Tech Sergeant John Wells of the 4th Air Wing, and we're looking for you to join us. Give us a call at 877-398-8350. That's 877-398-8350. If you love Texas as much as we do, join the 4th Air Wing of the Texas State Guard.
Almost every bear market has come on the heels of strong economic data and rapidly rising stock market. That's why if you're retired or retiring soon and can't afford a loss like in 2008, the time to add a sell strategy in your plan is now. You can't afford to miss the next free Money Matters retirement seminar. Choose Tuesday, May 19th, Alliance Gateway, Thursday, May 21st in Rockwall, or Saturday, May 23rd in Plano. Reserve your seat now at moneymatters.net. That's moneymatters.net, or call 800-994-0302.
660 AM The Answer. 660amtheanswer.com. You're hearing tomorrow's front page on the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. It lasts 5 hours. The first part of Mark Davis's broadcast day, where he fills in for Dr. Bill Bennett, coast to coast. And then the 2 hours he spends just with us on 660 AM The Answer. Here's what he's got planned for us tomorrow.
Hey, JD, good Thursday evening. Coming up for a Friday morning, it's a valuable thing to identify the left as suppressors of free speech. It's even more valuable when people on the left realize they're doing it. How many of you have enjoyed Kirsten Powers on Fox News, one of my favorite Fox liberals? They actually have them more than you have MSNBC conservatives, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, Kirsten has written a book called The Silencing about liberal intolerance, and she'll join us for a Friday morning at 8:05. But before that, 3 big action-packed hours of Morning in America, starting at 5. So woohoo! In there somewhere between 5 and 10, we'll do something you like. Mark Davis for a Friday morning on 660 AM The Answer.
Thank you very much, Mark. By the way, we're going to be speaking with Kirsten Powers on Monday here on the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer. Let me get to Daniel in Mansfield. Daniel, welcome to the Wells Report. Good to have you here, sir.
Hello, Mr. Wells.
Hello, Mr. Daniel.
I'm trying to get you on YouTube, but I can't access it, so I'm still working on that.
If you go to Jon-David Vox, JONDAVID VOX, on Facebook, I put up a link that will take you to the show.
Okay.
And we would love to have you back, man. I know you were one of the guys that watched us on Justin.tv. Long time ago, but it was great.
All righty. And say, you've been in rare form these past few days, Mr. Wells.
Wow, whatever do you mean?
You know, with this J. Helms conspiracy and now this Bertha conspiracy, and who was the better president, who was the best president still alive.
Well, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was
and rub your forehead and calm you down.
Oh, stop, Daniel. That's so funny. That's so funny. No, no. What I said about Jade Helm was that was again media malpractice, because they took that story a completely different direction that had nothing to do with reality. I mean,
everybody was reporting the same thing.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. And it started with NPR, and I challenged CNN over Twitter to prove what they had alleged that Greg Abbott said. He didn't say any of the things that were alleged he was alleged to have said. And I said, get me the videotape. Show me the videotape that proves what you're reporting, or stop reporting it. Okay, and I at some point they stopped, but I got to be honest with you, that was embarrassing, because none of that happened. None of that was the news. That was cobbled up out of whole cloth. It was awful. Okay,
so
as far as
tell me everybody got it wrong but you.
No, what I'm saying is that okay, I tell you what you do. Go back through all the reporting from the beginning and find out where Greg Abbott said that he was concerned that the federal government was rehearsing to take over Texas. He didn't say anything of the kind.
Okay.
Find out where he said that that the United States military was practicing to take over Texas. It's not there, but that's what happened. That's the story that went out far and wide across the land.
Okay, so why would people infer that that's what he meant?
Because you know what? I can't tell you right now because I don't have time. Can you hang on?
Sure.
Stand by. We'll be right back. Daniel Mansfield, dear friend of the Wells Report. Go to Facebook. Go to Jon-David Vox, JONDAVID VOX, or go to The Wells Report on Facebook, and if you go to that page, you will it'll pop right up. Okay, so there you go. 866-660-5759. We're going to continue our conversation with Daniel in Mansfield. We're talking about the actual media coverage that savaged Greg Abbott and, oh, by the way, by implication, Rick Perry. And that's a hint. We'll be back with more in just a moment. This is the Wells Report.
Are you living with prostate enlargement? Do you pee more often than you used to? Do you wake up to go? Be honest. Is there a drop in your romantic life? Prostate problems don't go away on their own, so you need to call for a free bottle of Super Beta Prostate, the #1 non-prescription formula for your prostate. The ingredients are natural. With Super Beta Prostate, you'll have less urges to urinate, less waking at night, and an improvement in your romantic life, guaranteed. Try it for free. Pay only shipping and handling. Just call 1-800-458-1543. Super Beta Prostate is so powerful, you'd have to take 100 saw palmetto capsules to get the same active ingredient in just one Super Beta Prostate tablet. Stop running to the bathroom and call us now for your free bottle. Hurry, this free offer won't last. Just call 1-800-458-1543. That's 1-800-458-1543. 1-800-458-1543.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head dealing with monthly payments, there's a powerful secret the credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $5,000 in credit card debt, you have the right to settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're Debt Relief Advocates, and we're offering you free information on how to virtually eliminate your credit card debt and make your monthly payment affordable. To see how much you could save, call now, 1-800-400-0096. Don't declare bankruptcy. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. Find out how easy it is by calling now. For the secret the credit card companies don't want you to know, call Debt Relief Advocates now and see how much money you could save for free. 1-800-400-0096. That's 1-800-400-0096. 1-800-400-0096.
Hello, this is Bob Guess. For more than a year, you've heard me talk about our incredible 9% return backed by hard assets. Well, listen closely. For a very limited time, we have a short-term investment which pays a flat 10% return for a one-year commitment. $50,000 at a 10% return will earn you $5,000. That's right, a 10% return in 1 year. It would take you 12.5 years to earn that much with a CD, and your money is backed dollar for dollar. In my 35 years in financial planning, I've rarely seen a better opportunity for security-minded people. Many of you have money sitting in banks and insurance companies. That money is going nowhere fast. Others of you are concerned about the volatility of the stock market or a long-term commitment. You can change all that. Get great returns and peace of mind for a one-year commitment. Don't be left out. Now is the time to call me at 972-570-4444. That's 972-570-4444.
Dentist office, may I help you?
Hi, I'd like to cancel my teeth whitening appointment.
Oh, may I ask why?
I found a teeth whitener that works in 5 minutes that I can do from home.
Can I ask what it is?
It's called Power Swabs, and it whitens your teeth in 5 minutes, doesn't leave my teeth feeling sensitive, and it's a lot less expensive than visiting the dentist.
Hi, I'm John Greenhut, the CEO of Power Swabs. And if you want to whiten your teeth 2 shades in 5 minutes and 6 shades in 7 days, then try Power Swabs. There's no messy strips or trays that you'll have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth and you're done. It removes stains on natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. Try Power Swabs risk-free by calling 1-800-281-4037. That's 1-800-281-4037. I guarantee your friends and coworkers will be wowed by your new white smile. Try it risk-free and get free shipping and handling today. Dial 1-800-281-4037. That's 1-800-281-4037.
Our family had a savings account until our air conditioner needed replacing.
We had a vacation fund before our refrigerator had a meltdown.
My family has no savings and our water heater just quit.
Sadly, sometimes it only takes one home system or appliance breakdown to bust your budget. But buying a home warranty from American Home Shield protects more of your hard-earned money because they help pay your covered repairs for you. For valuable free information, go to ahs.com or call 1-800-600-5107. Who wants to pour money into repairs for things like your air conditioner, refrigerator, plumbing, oven, or washer when you get the budget protection you deserve from American Home Shield? Service requests are subject to a fee for each trade called. Some exclusions and limitations apply. It's up to you. Pay for expensive home system and appliance repairs yourself, or let AHS help pay covered repairs for you. Protect more of your hard-earned money. For valuable free information, including terms, rates, and coverage, go to ahs.com. That's ahs.com, or call 1-800-600-5107.
660 AM. The Answer. Isn't thinking so much more fun than getting yelled at? The Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. We've got Daniel in Mansfield taking me to task for a couple of days, and it's not even Friday. You know, normally we have to wait until the Friday Flameout to have these conversations, Daniel. But we'll have the Thursday Throwdown because, you know, you're worried about, you wanted to come over and rub my head. How sweet of you. That's very nice.
I got to check on you, JD. You're my man. I got to make sure you're okay.
I feel the same way about you, brother. I do. So here's the situation. When it came to Greg Abbott, ordered the Texas State Guard to monitor the activities of Jade Helm, which, by the way, was, I thought, a really, really good thing. I mean, the Texas State Guard is a military organization, part of the Texas Military Department, that is commanded entirely by Governor Greg Abbott. This was brought about by, you know, the national legislature, the American government, for use when the National Guard was doing national business, you know, and so there were these state defense forces. In our case, in the case of the Texas State Guard, goes all the way back to 1824 when Stephen F. Austin, you know, put together a militia to protect the Texians from the Native Americans living in Texas at the time. So we're the oldest military force in Texas. The Texas State Guard is the oldest military force in Texas, and our commander-in-chief is the governor of Texas. It was a completely proper thing for the governor to do in order to have some idea of what was going on with regard to Operation Jade Helm 15. Now, the problem came when people in Texas said, wait a minute, what are you guys doing? That didn't have anything to do with the people being afraid of the military, which is the way they tried to portray it in the national news media. It has to do with the fact that, like it or not, Daniel, the American people do not trust our government right now. I mean, you know, you've heard me talk about it, that poll after poll after poll going back years, the American people believe that the single most serious threat to American liberty and freedom is the American government.
Yeah, but JD, the people trust our military, and we support our military.
We do.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I really do. But it looks bad, and we as Texans have been the butt of a lot of jokes.
Yeah,
and
because the story has been misreported. It wasn't reported properly. We don't have any problem with the United States military coming and training in Texas. Hell, they've been doing it for years. How long has Fort Hood been there?
Okay. Yeah, but why have a babysitter? It's the question then, if they've been doing it for years.
Well, the reason is because this is something that has to do with instead of being on a military reservation, now what they're doing is they are actually going across the countryside. Now, there was also something else here that needed to be talked about.
Okay.
In the Jade Helm exercise, right, the planners determined that Texas was going to be hostile territory.
Now, where that came from? Because I saw that.
That came from the actual planners of the exercise. They chose. Now, we don't know why, okay, but I thought that was kind of an insult to Texas. And I know why. If there's a political component to it, then the explanation is clear. President Obama doesn't have a lot of affection for Texas. And why should he? It's the biggest conservative state in the union. But I thought that was a pretty serious affront. And I think that part of the actual reporting had to do with that. If we in Texas had gone down the road of how dare the federal government, and especially the Defense Department, how dare they declare us hostile territory? Now they had to declare someplace hostile territory, I mean, if it's not Texas, it's New Mexico. They would be upset. If it's not New Mexico, it's Arizona. They would be upset. So once again, that was something that was out there that I didn't really hit very hard because there has to be hostile territory for training, or otherwise you're not training, right? But that was something that a lot of people had problems with. But to me, the big mistake was the fact that the mainstream media just made us look ridiculous across the land, and they didn't have the story they said existed to base that ridicule on.
Okay, so then the next conversation, you just have the previous caller. I mean, he was completely correct. You and I had this birthday conversation. You keep mentioning the birth certificate, but you failed to mention the two birth announcements, the certificate of live birth, the short form and the long form. So President Obama has presented numerous forms of proving that he was born in Hawaii. Conversely, Ted Cruz provided a Canadian birth certificate, and all of a sudden everything's okay now. And I'm having a problem understanding why that's so.
I do too. I got to be honest with you. Okay, I from what we've understood. Okay, so here's the situation. Now, I told you this before, and I brought this up to you before. The moment that you could take the birth certificate that was presented by President Obama apart, which he had to do. Okay, I mean, once you could take that apart in layers, which is how they build documents in Word and some of the Microsoft programs. Once you could do that, that meant it was a forgery, and they could do that. Anybody could. Okay, nobody, and then the whole story stopped right there. Why? Why did the story stop there, Daniel? I mean,
but you had Donald Trump, you had other people going to Hawaii, and they came back with nothing, JD.
That's the thing that I don't understand. You see, to me, then something had to be said, something had to be done. I don't know what's going on here. Because as soon as you can take apart any of those documents, then you don't have an original document there. You have a created one. So why would they create one? And nobody asked these questions. And yes, Donald Trump went out there. And yes, Joe Arpaio went out there. And all of it stopped. How? Why?
That's a good question. Why? If anybody had something, they would have came back and reported it. In my opinion, there's nothing to report.
Here, in my opinion, when a friend of mine who lives here was able to take the document apart, I sat there and said, "That's the smoking gun. Why isn't anybody doing anything about it?" And so I sat there and said, "Okay, well, nobody wants to do anything about this. Maybe we'll find out sometime in the future." And I just moved on. But the thing about it is that the question still remains. If that's
some people,
it still remains. You either have to say it doesn't matter that they can take the document apart, or you have to say there's a problem. You say it doesn't matter. I say there's a problem.
He has provided numerous forms of documentation, and you had two Republicans from Hawaii who stated that he was born there, and they seen the proof.
Well, listen, all we can do is say what we say. All right. I still can't figure out how that birth certificate can be taken apart, and you say it doesn't matter. Now, in point of fact, the man's been elected twice. So regardless of any of this, the American people have spoken. Okay. So as far as I'm concerned, and you've never heard me say anything except President Obama, you've never heard me treat him with the disrespect that President Bush was treated with ever. But I do have this question. And at some point, Daniel, many years down the road, probably you and I will have this discussion again, and we'll say, "Oh, okay, so that's the reason that was done." There are other problems too. His draft card is a forgery. We also know that his Social Security card does not go through E-Verify because, yes, your Social Security card is issued in the state you get your first job. Mine was issued in Oregon when I had a summer job working as a dishwasher at a restaurant in Waldport, Oregon. Okay, so you can trace my social security number back to my first job as a dishwasher at the Bayshore Inn and Restaurant. But you can't.
There's other outlets who are reported.
But you can't do that with President Obama's social security card.
And there's been countless to that, JD, and it's been out there. Snoops did an article about that, a commentary about that, and they investigated.
Listen, I understand that. I don't know what Snopes had to say, but I do know that Snopes also was impaled on bias as a left-wing news source, right before the 2012 election. I mean, I reported it on the show. So look, let's fast forward to what we're doing right now. Okay. I see things my way. You see your things your way.
Okay.
We are not going to be able to get to the bottom of this, but we each have our own ideas about these stories.
Okay.
It is not up to us, you or me, to provide to anybody listening to this conversation between you and I, for all times and all people, what exactly happened, and this is the way it is, e pluribus unum, somebody wrap the gavel. That's not what this is going to do. But what this does do is that either people listening to this conversation between you and I will either say, Jon-David is full of crap, or Daniel is full of crap, or I wonder if there's any truth to any of this. And that is our job. That is what this broadcast is for, so that you're one of the most important listeners of this broadcast, Daniel. And I'm not saying that to kiss your butt. I am saying it because you know that you can have your say here.
And that's why you're so important. That's why I give you all the respect in the world. Again, you and I, we see eye to eye on some things, and most of the time we don't. But you do give callers the opportunity to, bring up their points, defend their points. And again, we can walk away saying, I may not agree, but I do respect.
Well,
they had the opportunity to state his premise. And I appreciate that.
This truth thing that I keep talking about is not just smoke. It's real. Somewhere between us is the truth on this issue. Somewhere between the person that calls me on the telephone and offers a conflicting viewpoint and what I view, somewhere in the middle there, somewhere in that discussion is the truth. At some point, we will either know or we won't. The truth is stubborn. The truth will out. But it doesn't make any difference whether you're right or whether I'm right, as long as this kind of discussion occurs. And that's the most important thing. When I start thinking about the media, and I start thinking about what they do, and I start thinking about the political process and the president of the United States saying that we have to change the way the media reports the story, I really get very concerned because it's not. What we have to do is we have to provide the facts, and the facts have to be the facts, and the people have to decide, because Thomas Jefferson said it best: only the people know what freedom and liberty is in the United States. Only the people. That's you and me. So there. So if we change that, if that goes away, then we really have a problem in this nation, because then we become thralls to propaganda. The press is doing their absolute dead level best to deal away, to just give away freedom of the press that is enshrined in our Constitution. It's absolutely critical that they do not do that. But the only time the press in the United States does its job is when the Republicans are in charge of anything, because then there's the appropriate level of skepticism. Then there is the appropriate, let's barbecue these guys and see if they cook. I mean, and that's the way it should be both ways, and it's not.
Well, JD, that's another discussion. I think Fox does a pretty good job of barbecuing the president.
I got problems with Fox. I got problems with Fox. When they hired Mike Huckabee, when they hired Sarah Palin, when they started doing all that, I sat back and I said, they're just as biased as CNN. And oh, by the way, those deals came to an end. I don't know whether they said, hey, what are we doing here? But all I can say is that there has to be somebody that looks at all this stuff with as clear an eye as he's got. And I do that. And I depend on you to make sure that I'm not screwing it up.
Well, that being said, Mr. Wells, enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll be listening on to you tomorrow.
Mr. Daniel, thank you so much for adding so much to the show tonight, brother. I mean it. Thank you.
All right, you take care.
Yeah, you too. Okay, look, if you are concerned about being on this show because you disagree, I want you to play back in your mind the two conversations that you've heard in the last hour. One with Ray and one with Daniel. We don't argue here. But if you have a difference of opinion, bring me what you believe and your principles. And by golly, we'll have a real discussion. And who knows? We just might move the ball forward instead of just throwing it at each other. This is the Wells Report.
Sean Hannity believes the Obamas know the legacy they'll leave.
I think the Obamas know the numbers that I know. I think they realize 93 million Americans are out of the labor force, a record.
They've added nearly 20 million Americans to welfare and food stamps.
I think they realize that in terms of foreign policy, this president's in way over his head. I think they understand they have accumulated as much debt as every president before them combined, and that is a bad legacy.
The Sean Hannity Show, afternoons at 2, right before Michael Medved at 5 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Each week and every Saturday afternoon, whether you're remodeling an existing house or building a new one, doing it yourself or hiring a professional, we're here to bring you interviews with the experts and take your phone calls. And we bring it to you with a little green, whether it be energy efficiency or organic products for your house. So join us each week for a little House Talk Today.
House Talk Today, Saturday afternoon from 1 to 3 on 660 AM. The Answer.
This is Michael Medved for townhall.com. Some Americans watched recent elections in Britain with envy because so many parties competed for power. Conservatives, Labour, Liberal Democrats, Scottish National Party, UK Independence Party, and Greens all contested seats in Parliament. The results brought victory to David Cameron's Conservatives, but a split electorate only gave him 36% of total votes. Critics insist this means a shaky government and dubious mandate. A similar result afflicted Israel in recent elections, with votes split among 6 parties. Prime Minister Netanyahu struggled to put together a viable government, despite the fact that he received far more votes than his principal challenger. Those who seek new American third parties should ponder these results. Our two-party system remains vital, offering voters a clear choice between increasingly liberal Democrats and more conservative Republicans. Emergence of additional factions on the fringe would only muddy voter decisions, producing the badly fragmented electorate that now characterizes 2 of our closest allies.
People who can afford a LASIK procedure sure are lucky. Imagine being able to throw away your contacts and glasses. Imagine waking up tomorrow with 20/20 vision. Too bad everyone can't afford LASIK. Well, guess what? There's a company that agrees with you. The LASIK Vision Institute is now offering dramatically low prices on high-quality LASIK to make it affordable for everyone. That means you get the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology for a fraction of what others charge. And if you call right now, we'll schedule a free appointment so you can discover if LASIK is right for you. Results may vary. Call 1-800-700-1851. Even better, if you're one of the first 100 callers, ask about an extra 20% discount off our already low-cost services. We've already performed over 1 million procedures. Let us help you. Discover how you can get the quality LASIK experience you deserve at a fraction of what others charge. For your free appointment, call 1-800-700-1851. 1-800-700-1851.
When you pay your mobile phone bill, are you making a political statement? Probably so. You don't even know that it's politics you might not agree with. Hey, it's Mark Davis. Major mobile companies have given more than $50 million to liberal candidates and causes. Now there's a cellular company that gives 5% to conservative causes while still saving you money. Welcome to EOS Mobile. The same service, the same quality, a better price, and a better cause. Go to EOScell.com, EOSCELL.com. Meet a company that'll save you 10 to 15% on the same phone, data, and text plans. And their corporate contributions go to organizations and candidates for smaller government, a stronger America, and following the Constitution. Imagine that. And text and talk plans start at $9.99 with a free phone. Do you want part of your mobile phone bill to help Obama, Hillary, and that side of American politics? Great service, great prices, and support for conservative causes with EOS Mobile. Go to EOScell.com. That's EOSCELL.com. eossell.com.
Warning, whether you're retired or soon to be retired, listen up. Do not be caught in one or more of the 11 mistakes retirees make that could cost you all of your money. It doesn't matter how well off you are financially, you could make the easy mistake that washes away all of your financial security. Call Optimum Retirement Planning today at 866-882-5447 to make sure that you are not wasting your money. Call now and receive your free copy of the 11 biggest mistakes retirees make and how to avoid them. 866-882-5447.
Accurate Foundation Repair has been helping your friends and neighbors since 1999. Over 47% of our gross revenues are referral business. You want your home fixed right? Call Accurate Foundation Repair. We'll give you high-quality steel piers at a price you can afford with a warranty second to none. Call Accurate Foundation Repair at 972-623-2500. That's 972-623-2500 or on the web at AccurateFoundationRepair.com.
Accurate Foundation Repair. We give you a lift for a whole lot less.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. Now, The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to The Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. How are you doing? 866-660-5759. Guess what happened? Yeah, guess what happened? House Budget Committee Chairman Representative Tom Price, the Republican from Georgia, yesterday unveiled a plan to repeal President Obama's health care law and replace it with an alternative. Yeah. The move is the latest effort by Republicans to show they have a vision for reforming the health care system beyond merely undoing Obamacare. Just exactly what is that plan all about? I'm going to tell you right after the top of the hour. Right after the top of the hour news, I'm going to take this. I'm gonna bring this all down for you so you know what the Republican plan is. Is it perfect? No. Is it something that might work? Yeah. But you know what it needs? It needs people to look at it with clear eyes and objectivity and make it better and force these politicians into doing something that works for us instead of the other way around. See, Obamacare, the worst part about Obamacare is it turns us, we the people of the United States, the consumers of what happens, into essentially a product. We become a commodity. What we need is a plan that makes us into customers. More about this in a minute. You're listening to The Wells Report.
For almost 2 decades, financial advisor and educator Rick Poston with Empowered Wealth Financial Services has provided peace of mind to thousands who see or hear him in the media or read his work. Rick has been chosen by Bloomberg Business Week magazine as one of the top 20 game-changing financial advisors in the country. A fan of Rick's profound teaching, Brian Tracy, world-renowned business leader, speaker, and best-selling author, has asked Rick to co-author his newest book entitled The Winning Way, where Rick will share with his fans some of the principles that allow Rick's clients to continue on their winning way. If you are looking to break away from that same old investment plan that has provided you with one too many disappointments, stay tuned to 660 AM The Answer every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock for the most educational hour on financial talk radio with Empowered Wealth Radio, live. Or call 469-361-4020.
This plan is not insurance and does not meet minimum credible coverage requirements under the Affordable Care Act. This discount card program contains a 30-day cancellation and refund period. Administrator and benefits limited, Dallas, Texas, not available in all states.
Are your medical expenses and insurance costs out of control? There's a way to pay less for the healthcare you need. RealMedSavings.com. It's a membership like a club that lets you access huge networks of medical professionals for a whole lot less money. Real Med Savings even connects you with a board-certified physician anytime, 24 hours a day. The doctor will consult with you, diagnose the condition, and when necessary, call in the prescription. You pay nothing for the doctor's consultation because you're a member. You save money because we've already negotiated discounts on dental, vision, prescription drugs, and much more. Just go to RealMedSavings.com and learn all about it. Real Med Savings is not insurance. You just save real money on your health care for you and your whole family. And it costs less than $1 a day for the whole family. No salesperson will call, and there is no long-term commitment. Convenient money-saving health care. Real RealMedSavings.com.
When things are going well, the last thing you want to think about is the next stock market crash. However, one unexpected event and it can drop fast.
This is Ken Moraif, host of the Money Matters radio show, inviting you to our free seminar.
The seminar is May 19th, Alliance Gateway, May 21st, Rockwall, or May 23rd in Plano. Clients that followed Ken's advice did not lose money in the market crash of 2008. If you're retired or retiring, don't miss. Reserve at moneymatters.net. That's moneymatters.net, or call 800-994-0302.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group. On the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio. I'm Steve Rappaport. Federal investigators plan to interview the engineer of the derailed Amtrak train in the coming days.
Safety-sensitive transportation workers are required by law to undergo post-accident drug and alcohol testing, and that was conducted in accordance with the federal law.
Robert Sumwalt with the NTSB. Searchers recovered another body Wednesday, raising the death count to 8. Tom Brady formally appealing his 4-game suspension.
Brady was suspended for his role in using deflated footballs during the AFC Championship game. In addition to the suspension, the Patriots were fined $1 million and docked 2 draft picks. The appeal must be heard within 10 days.
Fox Radio's Tanya J. Powers. And the Senate voting to advance a bill that would allow President Obama to negotiate trade deals. Congress could approve or reject them, but not change them. Fox News. We report, you decide.
660 AM, The Answer. Dennis Prager tries to explain the constantly shifting position on the left.
So now they say it's not white-black racism, it's blue-black racism. So it's really police become racist somehow when they don the uniform of the police. Or perhaps racists enter the police force in greater numbers than they enter other professions.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at noon, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Another hot Texas summer is upon us, and Mathis Air and Heat has a great offer for you right off the bat. With the American Standard All-Star Sales Event, Mathis Air is offering 100% financing and 0% interest for up to 60 months. That's 60 months of complete qualifying American Standard systems with approved credit or cash rebates. Mathis Air knows that's a home run, and with free estimates on equipment replacements, that's a grand slam. When it comes to service, call 972-279-4COOL for a $39 service call. Don't get thrown a curveball. Go with the company you can trust. As a certified customer care dealer, Mathis Air is about quality, honesty, and a great installation because that's what matters most. Special financing or rebates available on qualifying products. See Mathis Air and Heat, your independent American Standard dealer, for details. Or call 888-840-8084 for financing program details about credit costs. Offer expires June 30th, 2015. Make sure you're working with the best. Mathis Air and Heat. Call now, 972-279-4COOL. That's 972-279-4266.
What's the scariest thing about going to the dentist? Opening your mouth or opening your wallet? Because just a simple cleaning can cost $100, and things like root canals can cost you hundreds more. If you don't have dental insurance to help, you should give Physicians Mutual Insurance Company a call. 1-800-200-9887. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps pay for checkups right away. So you can call today and get your teeth cleaned tomorrow. Plus, it helps cover the more expensive procedures you might need down the road. Fillings, crowns, bridges, even costly dentures. There's no deductible and no annual maximum. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired or on Medicare. There are no networks, so you can choose any dentist you'd like. That's right, any dentist you want. Call in the next 10 minutes and we'll rush you a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-200-9887. That's 1-800-200-9887. 1-800-200-9887.
Are you suffering with hearing loss? Are you sick of people constantly complaining that your TV is too loud? Are you tired of asking people to speak up? Would you like to hear more clearly, but you don't want to wear a hearing aid that makes you look old? Then you need to try Listen Clear, a life-changing breakthrough precisely designed by top audio engineers to fit your ear almost invisibly. And you can adjust Listen Clear to find the perfect way to hear everything, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And right now, you can try Listen Clear absolutely risk-free with free shipping. We'll even give you free batteries for life. So call now, 1-800-661-2231. Listen Clear is lightweight and completely hassle-free, and it's practically invisible. Call for your 100% risk-free home trial with free shipping and free batteries for life. For free information, call now. 1-800-661-2231. That's 1-800-661-2231. 1-800-661-2231.
What's the best way to bring people together?
T-shirts!
T-shirts. Custom T-shirts that you design online with custom ink. The fun, easy way to make shirts you'll love for your group or occasion. Custom Ink has created over 50 million shirts for families, teams, reunions, church groups, cheerleaders, companies big and small. So go online and see how easy it is to design your own shirts with Custom Ink's online design lab. Our website has tons of fonts and amazing artwork. And our team of professional inkers will make sure your shirts turn out perfectly. Order one shirt or thousands. On-time delivery is guaranteed, and we'll even ship your order absolutely free.
Start designing your custom ink t-shirts today and see why 99% of our customers say they would order from us again. Visit customink.com.
Hello, this is Bob Guess. For more than a year, you've heard me talk about our incredible 9% return backed by hard assets. Well, listen closely. For a very limited time, we have a short-term investment which pays a flat 10% return for a one-year commitment. $50,000 at a 10% return will earn you $5,000. That's right, a 10% return in 1 year. It would take you 12.5 years to earn that much with a CD, and your money is backed dollar for dollar. In my 35 years in financial planning, I've rarely seen a better opportunity for security-minded people. Many of you have money sitting in banks and insurance companies. That money is going nowhere fast. Others of you are concerned about the volatility of the stock market or a long-term commitment. You can change all that. Get great returns and peace of mind for a one-year commitment. Don't be left out. Now is the time to call me at 972-570-4444. That's 972-570-4444.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Thank you very much for being a part of this radio broadcast. You can do that easily by joining us at 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. Or you can also join us on TV, YouTube live events going on right now. We're broadcasting live. You can see me staring off into space with my hands behind my head because there's some latency there. It's like I'll move here in a minute, and yeah. So that's what's going on. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to be on television, you know, and we did this a long time ago.
We're ready
I know,
to believe you.
Bite me. Anyway, where were we? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did this a long time ago. We started the other place, and we did it for years. And then the organization that I was doing it through stopped doing it. And I had a little hard time getting my situation set up so that I could have this again. But I did, and we're on YouTube live streaming, and you can join us. And if you want to know how to get there, really simple to do. Go to either of my Facebook pages. That would be JONDAVIDVOX, or you can go to The Wells Report on Facebook, and you will see a link that will get you to the live video. There we go. All right. Like I said before the break, there is a Republican health care plan, and I'm going to say something right off the start here about this, right? There is absolutely no reason for the government to have anything to do with American healthcare. It is a huge mistake. It is an error on the part of we the people to allow politicians to do anything having anything to do with our healthcare. It is how you enslave a populace. It's how it's done. If, for example, you believe that we should have the right to bear arms, then you have got to say, get the government out of health care. Because the government will say, hey, look, we're taking care of your health care. And that means that you can't have a gun because guns could impinge on your health care. They can tell you not to eat what they don't want you to eat. Look at every school cafeteria in the United States right now. Hungry kids eating broccoli or not eating broccoli. And that's how all of us are going to be fed. Because the government is going to do this. They've got a hell of a healthcare plan in North Korea. They had a hell of a healthcare plan in the old Soviet Union. They've got a hell of a healthcare plan in England, and there are a lot of people in England that sure want that thing to go away. But every time they try to get rid of it, and by the way, if you wonder how it was that the Britons gave up all their weapons, it's because of the National Health Service. Not because some evil politician, some despot, some giant military came and took away all the guns. No. No, it was through healthcare that they did it. It's a mess. And once it happens, you'll play hell getting it back. So anyway, this Republican health care plan, I am just as skeptical of it as I was with Obamacare. The government has no business in health care. We don't want the government to have any business in health care. Look at what they're doing with the greatest among us. You like the way the veterans are being treated? That right there should be all that's necessary to get everyone out of government health care. The Veterans Administration needs to issue contracts. They need to procure health care from private enterprise for the veterans. That's what they need to do. They don't need to have their own system. The government can't do it. They need to contract with defense contractors who happen to be in the medical industry to take care of those veterans. What I meant earlier when I said that what government health care does is it turns patients into commodities, when what it should do is turn patients into customers. That's what needs to happen. Let's see what the Republicans' plan looks like. First of all, Tom Price, the Republican from Georgia, who is the Budget Committee chairman, took over for Paul Ryan, is an orthopedic surgeon. He's been one of the leading voices on healthcare policy among Republicans. His plan is an updated version of the Empowering Patients First Act released in the previous Congress. It relies on a combination of tax credits and regulatory reforms meant to broaden access to health insurance and bring down costs without Obamacare. Its release is likely to reignite a debate on the right over whether such an approach goes far enough toward ushering in a market-based healthcare system, which is exactly where it has to go. The Price plan, not the Price plan, but the Tom Price plan, would start by fully repealing the text of Obamacare. To assist individuals with the purchase of insurance in the absence of Obamacare subsidies, it would provide refundable tax credits. In a change from Price's previous proposal, which adjusted the value of the credits based on the income level of the recipient, the new plan would adjust the value of the credits based on age. The credits would range from $1,200 for those between 18 to 35 and $3,000 for those over 50, with an additional $900 credit per child up to age 18. See, this is the problem. Okay? So every procedure starts, or every interaction with a healthcare plan starts with soaking up the credits. Say, for example, you have to buy a pair of glasses. In 1975, a pair of glasses cost you about 125 bucks. Then they came up with eye insurance or eye care insurance. Eye care plans. Okay? And the eye care plans to take care of your vision insurance or what have you, allowed for glasses to be $125. What happened? The marketplace immediately readjusted so that the $125 in most vision plans was then the new zero, and they charged $125 on top of that because they already knew that people would pay $125 for glasses. So just like that, almost overnight, glasses went from being $125 to being $250. Well, it's not $250 if you have one of our plans. Okay, how much does one of your plans cost? Well, $125 a month. Plus, you have a $250 deductible. It's a yearly deductible. And so what ends up happening is you have to pay now $250, and now your deductible is satisfied, but you already have a pair of glasses. So arguably, the price of glasses, because you have insurance, is now $250. And oh, by the way, next month, you have to pay another $125. And the month after that, and the month after that, and the month after that. What ended up happening was your glasses became scorchingly unaffordable. When you put a government credit out there, the first thing that happens is the market adjusts to soak all that money up. So you can't have them. So already there's a problem with this plan. The plan also provides individuals with a one-time $1,000 tax credit to put in a health savings account from which individuals could pay for routine medical expenses that aren't covered by their insurance. Okay, physicals and such. You know what that means? That means that your yearly physical will cost $1,000. The legislation would increase the contribution limits of HSAs to match limits on individual retirement accounts, which once again puts upward pressure on medical prices because people have money to spend. And oh, by the way, the industry knows how much money's out there because they get a report on how much people have in their HSA accounts. And their actuaries sit down and say, okay, well, here's the number of actual patients that will use those HSA accounts. That means the pricing starts by dividing that number of patients available with the amount of money available, and that's the new basis for a pricing structure. Do you see how this works? Well, geez, Jon-David, what do you do? Well, here's what you do. You get rid of all these tax credits. Get rid of all of them. Every bit of it. What you do is you say, hey, you need to get health insurance if you feel like you need to get health insurance, but if you don't feel you need health insurance, don't get it. What they need to do is they need to illegalize healthcare plans. And what they need to do is they need to return to the selling of catastrophic healthcare plans. All of a sudden, a physical's $125 because there's no pool of money created by the government to make it $250, $500, or $1,000. What ends up happening is that suddenly, if you have a catastrophic health care plan, which kicks in at $50,000 or whatever, when you get a dread disease diagnosis, a cancer or something along that line, that's when the policy kicks in. The insurance companies, therefore, cannot sell any of those policies unless they prove a need. Well, how do you prove a need? Well, what ends up happening is that the insurance companies then have to start working on preventative care. In other words, they have to make MRIs and CAT scans worth, say, $250 instead of $1,250. because that way people can access them. Hey, Jon-David, you know, your physical that cost you $250 or $150 or $125. I found something I don't like. I want you to get an MRI. If your doctor asks you to get an MRI and sends you out to Diagnostic Imaging Incorporated, that's going to cost you $1,500 before it's all over. But that's only because your insurance would pay for it. If your insurance wouldn't pay for it, that scan would cost dramatically less. Like maybe another $100, $200. Suddenly, you can afford that. Yeah, we found a problem, Jon-David. You've got an issue that's catastrophic. Okay, then your catastrophic health care plan kicks in. In the meantime, you're not paying $13,500 every year for a physical for each member of your family. And by the way, that's the average of what we spend right now. So the insurance, okay, the Republicans have a plan, but I don't like it so far. There's more. I'll tell you about it next. This is the Wells Report.
Mike Gallagher affirms that if you support traditional marriage, you are not a bigot.
Obviously, if somebody crosses a line and says homophobic things and they criticize and they want discrimination, and that's a horse of a different color. But to simply express support for traditional marriage, that's enough to be called a bigoted? I don't think so. That's actually what a lot of activists are saying.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 10, right before Dennis Prager at noon on 660 AM. The Answer.
Are you having trouble figuring out how to invest for retirement with all the recent market volatility, falling oil prices, and turmoil around the world? Hi, I'm Jon-David Wells from the Wells Report for InvestingMakesMeSick.com. Most people think their investment options are only stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or annuities. That's not true. Here's Walt Parker.
If you have an IRA or a 401k from a former employer, you have investment choices that you may not even realize you have. You've worked hard to accumulate your money and deserve to understand what your investments are. InvestingMakesMeSick.com has always offered the We Come to You service. Retirement is right around the corner. Time is money. We want to make sure that you understand your investments and that there's more than just stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and annuities to invest in.
Schedule an appointment. Call 972-463-3833, 972-463-3833, or log on to InvestingMakesMeSick.com. All investments involve risk. Investments may be considered speculative and incur substantial fees and expenses borne by the investor. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Titan Securities. InvestingMakesMeSick.com and Titan Securities are not affiliated.
If you're turning on the AC for the warm days of spring and it's just not working or not cooling.
21212. Testing 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1 1 0 5 5 4 3 2 1. Off we go. Here we go. There are just some things that aren't political, and when they become political, everybody in politics looks like a everybody looks like okay. Everybody looks like okay. There are just some things that are not political. And when the politicians and there are just some things in the United States, I know this is going to be hard for you to believe, there are some things in the United States that are not political. And when politics gets injected into these situations, everybody looks like it is. That's exactly what's going on with this Amtrak crash in Pennsylvania. Somebody is trying to blame the Republican Party for not spending enough money on Amtrak. Well, look at it this way. At least we're not spending. See, how do I say this? We are spending money on windmills. We are spending money on what's an ancient technology that we don't use anymore? Thatch roofing. Okay, that'll work. Okay, here we go. You may not believe this, but there are some things left in America that are not political. And when politics gets injected into those things, everybody looks like a complete idiot. This is the case with the Amtrak crash in Pennsylvania. It could be worse. Somebody believes that the Republican Party not giving Amtrak enough money is the reason this crash happened. Well, I suppose it could be worse. I suppose we could have thrown a whole lot of money at the thatch roofing industry. Does that make sense? Does that work? Okay. You get what I'm trying to do, but it doesn't work. Okay, so here we go. You may not believe this, but there are some things in America that are not political. And when you may not believe this, but there are some things in America that are not political. And when politics gets injected into those situations, everybody looks like complete idiots. Let me give you a great example. The train crash in Pennsylvania. You know, Amtrak, that ancient technology that we throw billions of dollars at every year. Why in heaven's name are people blaming Republicans for not spending enough money for the... Why are people blaming Republicans for... As if that was some cause for this crash. It's stupid, it's ridiculous, it's destructive, and we'll be talking about it later on tonight on the Wells Report. You got that? Okay. Mark Davis, good Friday morning, my friend. You know what Friday means. Only 2 more days left in the work week. Do we have to go? Mark Davis, thanks very much for this opportunity to drop by and tell people what's coming up on the Wells Report. We're going to talk about something that does not need to be political. We're going to talk about the fact that the Republican Party is being blamed for not spending enough money on the ancient technology known as passenger train service in the U.S. Why in heaven's name are the Republicans actually getting blamed for something that was a mistake at some level by somebody at Amtrak? We'll discuss it and a lot more next time on the Wells Report.
At home, you need Amdro Kills Ants bait stations and sakes inside and outside your house. Amdro Kills Ants is a bait ants love, so they eat it and die. And that's a tune that'll keep your house humming. Find Amdro Kills Ants' entire line of products at a Walmart near you.
Saying I don't know is no longer acceptable. This is 660 AM, The Answer. The Wells Report, must-hear radio on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells, talking about the Republican health care plan, something that theoretically should replace Obamacare. I'm not a big believer in government health care plans. I think it's ridiculous. I think that anybody that creates any pool of money that can be sucked up by a voracious profit-based industry is going to shoot itself in the foot. So here we go. The idea of tying credits to age was featured in a proposal released by a policy group, the 2017 project last year. The thinking of doing it is based on age, is that younger individuals can obtain cheaper insurance by weighting the subsidies towards older Americans. It's possible to cover more people. Also, it's easier to administer because the government doesn't have to worry about alienating or estimating income. Because Obamacare subsidies are income-based, it resulted in added chaos during tax season. Many beneficiaries had to forego all or part of their expected tax refunds because their actual income was different from their estimated income at the time that they applied for the subsidies. Yeah, it was a mess. It's totally a mess. Price's plan takes baby steps when it comes to changing the employer insurance market. The employer has no business offering you health insurance. That is a huge mistake. It's just as bad as the government offering you health insurance. It's terrible. Price's plan takes baby steps when it comes to changing the employer insurance market. He limits the value of the exemption for employee coverage, but at a high level, up to $20,000 for a family, $8,000 for individuals, which would be adjusted to keep up with the cost of living. Any money spent on employer insurance beyond that would have to be taken out of after-tax income. The tax credits in his plan would only be available to those who do not receive employer coverage, though in theory, an employee could decline that coverage and claim a credit instead. Businesses would have the option of providing individuals a pre-tax benefit that workers could use to purchase their own plans. This, by the way, is what you want to do. See, what you want to do is you want to get a pre-tax contribution from your employer to help you pay for your own health plan. That's what you want to do. But then again, this again is money that creates a pool that can be sucked up by a voracious, profit-centered industry. Look, what you need to do is you need to stop all this. You need to stop every bit of it. If you want to take, you cannot provide a tax benefit for people doing what they should be doing anyway. You need to ban health insurance that covers sniffles. You need to have health insurance that covers catastrophes. That's it. If there's any health insurance in America, that's what it needs to be. Everything else gone. Return everything to a cash basis at the doctor's office. Return everything to a cash basis at the imaging agency. Don't worry. There will still be people that want to make a great profit as opposed to making an obscene one. There will be people that are out for obscene profit that will leave the industry. That's okay. There will be a marketplace and someone will fill it, usually with better technology. And that's what we need to do. Get the government out of healthcare, Republican or Democrat, it makes no difference. This is the Wells Report.
In the early 60s, Dolores and Ray Butcher and their 3 daughters earned a trip to Disneyland by collecting S&H green stamps. It was a dream come true. Today, nearly everyone has a wallet or keychain full of loyalty reward cards that they use for discounts, gifts, and even free dinners at their favorite restaurants. For years.
Check. Most people have a problem with illegal immigrants in America. Well, how about illegal immigrants in the United States military? On the next edition of the Wells Report, we're going to talk a little bit about how illegal immigrants might be allowed to join the United States military and, oh, by the way, build themselves a case for citizenship. You know what? I think I like it. How about you? No? Let's talk about it next time on the Wells Report. Mark Davis, you amazing human being. Thank you very much for letting me drop by on this magnificent radio show and tell people what's coming up on the Wells Report a little bit later on. The House Rules Committee came up with some ideas about illegal immigrants in the United States. Oh, my goodness. Is it amnesty? What are they going to do now? How about this? How about allowing them to join? How about allowing them to join the United States military and build a case for citizenship through the hard work of defending this nation? You know what? I think I like it. How about you? Let's talk about it next time on the Wells Report.
How to protect your wealth and how to build a retirement plan that has income for life. Call 972-996-7858 for a free, no-obligation retirement plan analysis. Or look at them online at guardianfinancialmanagement.com.
When you pay your mobile phone bill, are you making a political statement? Probably so. You don't even know that it's politics you might not agree with. Hey, it's Mark Davis. Major mobile companies have given more than $50 million to liberal candidates and causes. Now there's a cellular company that gives 5% to conservative causes while still saving you money. Welcome to EOS Mobile. The same service, the same quality, a better price, and a better cause. Go to EOScell.com, EOSCELL.com. Meet a company that'll save you 10 to 15% on the same phone, data, and text plans, and their corporate contributions go to organizations and candidates for smaller government, a stronger America, and following the Constitution. Imagine that. And text and talk plans start at $9.99 with a free phone. Do you want part of your mobile phone bill to help Obama, Hillary, and that side of American politics? Great service, great prices, and support for conservative causes with EOS Mobile. Go to EOScell.com. That's EOSCELL.com, EOScell.com.
Are you suffering with hearing loss? Are you sick of people constantly complaining that your TV is too loud? Are you tired of asking people to speak up? Would you like to hear more clearly, but you don't want to wear a hearing aid that makes you look old? Then you need to try Listen Clear, a life-changing breakthrough precisely designed by top audio engineers to fit your ear almost invisibly. And you can adjust Listen Clear to find the perfect way to hear everything, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And right now you can try Listen Clear absolutely risk-free with free shipping. We'll even give you free batteries for life. So call now, 1-800-661-2231. Listen Clear is lightweight and completely hassle-free, and it's practically invisible. Call for your 100% risk-free home trial with free shipping and free batteries for life. For free information, call now, 1-800-661-2231. That's 1-800-661-2231. 1-800-661-2231.
Have you ever considered joining the military but stopped because you couldn't deploy to a foreign country? Believe it or not, the state of Texas has its own military force that stands alongside the Texas National Guard, the Texas Air National Guard, and serves only inside the state of Texas. It's called the Texas State Guard. I'm Tech Sergeant John Wells of the 4th Air Wing, and we're looking for you to join us. Give us a call at 877-398-8350. That's 877-398-8350. If you love Texas as much as we do, join the 4th Air Wing of the Texas State Guard.
You know colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in Texas, but that 90% of colon cancers can be avoided with early detection. Southwest Endoscopy and Surgery Center is the first facility in North Texas to use the revolutionary Fuse Full Spectrum Endoscopy System, enabling a 330-degree panoramic view of your colon. Due for a colonoscopy? Don't become a statistic. Insist on Fuse. Contact Southwest Endoscopy and Surgery Center at 817-293-9292 or visit swgiclinic.com.
660 AM. 660 AM. The Answer. 660 AM. TheAnswer.com. The Wells Report is on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Howdy as well as duty. Mark Davis is going to be on tomorrow morning, bright and early. Say, for example, 5 o'clock in the morning. And he's going to be on all the way until 10 o'clock. Let's find out what he's got planned for us.
Hey, JD, good Thursday evening. Coming up for a Friday morning, it's a valuable thing to identify the left as suppressors of free speech. It's even more valuable when people on the left realize they're doing it. How many of you have enjoyed Kirsten Powers on Fox News, one of my favorite Fox liberals? They actually have them, more than you have MSNBC conservatives, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, Kirsten has written a book called The Silencing about liberal intolerance, and she'll join us for a Friday morning at 8:05. But before that, 3 big action-packed hours of Morning in America starting at 5. So woohoo! In there somewhere between 5 and 10, we'll do something you like. Mark Davis for a Friday morning on 660 AM. The Answer.
Thank you very much, Mark. I will look very forward to that very fine broadcast, which will be coming up later on, I'm sure. As a matter of fact, I'm positive it's going to happen at 5 o'clock. Okay, so here's what's going on. There's a guy out there who is trying to come up with a Republican alternative to Obamacare, Tom Price, who is a former orthopedic surgeon. But it is a political solution, and therefore it has problems. What needs to happen is that the politics need to be reducing people's dependence on insurance companies and thus their employers. See, you shouldn't have your health insurance through your employer. You don't want that anyway. Okay, you want to buy your own insurance. What you negotiate regarding your health insurance with your employer is a pre-tax benefit. In other words, how about this? What do you pay for my health insurance if you're paying the freight? How much is it per employee? Well, we pay $125 a month. You say, fine. Instead of spending that money on a health insurance plan that you have to pay for if I actually get sick, how about you just pay me that monthly premium, and I'll use it on a plan that I buy in the private sector? They'll say, sure. See, that way you control your own health care. How many people have been fired because they came down with some sort of illness that was going to cost a pay your own way health insurance plan at your employer? Do you really want your employer to know what's going on with your health care? No. It's none of their business. But if you're buying their health insurance, yeah, it's their business. They're paying for it. See what I mean? Besides, I got to be honest with you. There was a moment there where we were buying health insurance on the private market. It wasn't as good a deal, but it was so much cheaper, we almost decided to keep doing it. I'm just saying. It's an amazing thing. Anyway, small business owners would be able to band together across state lines to purchase insurance through trade associations, and insurance licensed in one state would be able to sell insurance in any state. This is an absolute necessity. Insurance companies need to be able to sell insurance nationally. We let the banks do it. We can let the insurance companies do it. That each insurance company has to have a specific group of people selling insurance in a particular state with those particular laws is silly. It's absolutely silly. It reduces the pools of available patients, actual consumers, to the point where they can be charged more. If you take a group of, say, for example, men between the ages of 45 to 65 or 55 to 64, okay? There are, let's say, 1 million of them in Texas. So you have to spread the insurance benefits around to 1 million guys. If they can sell insurance nationally, it's 100 million guys. They make more money. You pay less for your insurance. The insurance company takes less of a hit because they have 100 million people paying into the same group as opposed to only 1 million. See what I mean? That's how all this works. That's how all of this works. Regarding pre-existing conditions, Price would provide grants to states to offer coverage to those with such conditions using mechanisms that spread risk. The national marketplace would be a good way to do that. The plan would also include medical malpractice liability reform, such as changing the burden of proof based on physicians following clinical guidelines. The guidelines would be issued by the Secretary of Health and Human Services in consultation with medical societies. In other words, a lawyer wouldn't be able to make just this amazing argument that may or may not be based on fact, leavened with a horrifying emotional appeal for a tragedy that shouldn't have happened, that transcends what actually happened. Did you do this? Yes, I did this. Did you do this? Yes, I did this. Did you do this? No, I did not do this. Is that what caused the injury? Probably. Case closed. And they also need to adopt loser pays in this nation. Okay? Loser pays. That's tort reform that everybody would actually benefit from. Make us a less litigious society. People on the right, like me, will criticize this plan. People on the left will criticize this plan. Liberals will argue the replacement plan won't cover enough people, would eliminate protections such as individuals with pre-existing conditions, and that would leave millions more vulnerable. It's not the position of the government to serve those people. It is the insurance industry's position to serve those people. That's money there. That's money. They will do something to get it, I promise you. They just don't have to do it now because there are other mechanisms in place. Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal, who released his own health care alternative last year, has been arguing that plans released by Republicans in Congress are merely Obamacare light. He's correct. His argument is that by focusing too much on expanding coverage, Republicans are playing on Democrats' turf, since liberals will always be willing to spend more since they're not spending their own money. They're spending our money. Jindal's plan would offer individuals a standard deduction for health insurance, which would later reduce their tax burden by the amount they spend on insurance up to a certain value. This functions more like a tax cut than a spending increase. The criticism of the Jindal approach is that the deduction wouldn't be of much value to low-income individuals with little or no tax liability against which to deduct, and thus would not do enough to expand coverage. It's not the business of the government to sell insurance for insurance companies. That's not the job of government. That's the job of the insurance companies. Insurance companies do not want to provide health insurance for low-income people. The reason they don't want to provide it is because it's expensive. Low-income people, by and large, have more claims against health insurance than people who are not. Just saying. It's not the government's job to provide those people with insurance. We do not have a government devoted to selling health insurance. It's ridiculous. The criticism of Jindal's approach is that it wouldn't be much value to low-income individuals. That's why proposals like Price's rely on a refundable tax credit. Under this approach, somebody who owes $1,000 in taxes and qualifies for a $3,000 tax credit would effectively receive a $1,000 tax cut and $2,000 in government subsidies, which would be used as the basis of a pricing plan, and thus everything would start at $2,000 instead of $1. In other words, if a physical is $125, if there's a $2,000 government subsidy, then the price of a physical is now $2,125. Jindal argues this approach would not represent a true repeal of Obamacare because it would still be spending money to subsidize insurance relative to the system that existed prior to Obamacare. Other Republicans have argued that now Obamacare is in place, it's unrealistic to think that Republicans could scrap it and not have the answer for millions of beneficiaries who would lose insurance coverage as a result. This dynamic has received added attention due to the Supreme Court case challenging the legality of subsidies offered on health insurance on federal health insurance exchanges, which is expected to be decided in June and could mean millions of people in up to 37 states losing subsidies and Obamacare collapsing. This is the problem. When you get the government into the health insurance industry, they lose money. Our money. The author of this article, Philip Klein, wrote a book called Overcoming Obamacare, which examined the debate on the right over healthcare alternatives. His approach would provide financial feasibility for every single American to purchase coverage that they want. He added, the system doesn't work if people aren't covered. In releasing the plan on Wednesday, he said in a statement, under Obamacare, the American people are paying more for health care and getting less access, less quality, fewer choices. The status quo and its defenders are empowering Washington and harming patients and doctors. With real patient-centered reforms, we can build more innovative and responsive healthcare system, one that empowers patients and ensures they and their doctors have the freedom to make healthcare decisions without bureaucratic bungling or influence. You can only do that by getting the government out of it. The problem with Obamacare is that people depend on it. Look, they're already saying that if you get rid of Obamacare, you have to figure out some way of providing insurance for millions of Americans. No, you don't. Ask not what your country can do for you, like pay for your health insurance. Ask what you can do for your country. We don't want Obamacare light. We don't want a Republican version of Obamacare. Get the government out of health care and let the free market handle it. Give you a great example. You ready? Here's a great example. Breast implants. Yep. They're not covered by health insurance plans. But crazily enough, people can figure out a way to afford them, can't they? Thank goodness. Man. Same thing with radial keratotomy. You know LASIK? You know where they fix your cornea so you can see? Crazily enough, not covered by health insurance, still a thriving industry. They figure out ways to make it affordable if the government's not involved. If the government's involved, they don't need to figure out a way to make it affordable. All they have to do is go to a government's subcommittee and whine that they're not making enough money. Give me a bigger subsidy. That subsidy doesn't provide anything for a patient. It provides profit for an insurance company. That's it. You see, a government working for insurance companies comes up with a plan like this. A government working for we, the people of the United States, comes up with a plan that says, you don't need our help. We're the problem. And you let the market provide a solution, because the market will, if there is available money. And suddenly, most people, family of four, paying $13,500 a year for health insurance. If you take that away and you say, okay, spend half that on a catastrophic insurance coverage, that means there's $6,500 or $6,750 left over for somebody to come up with a plan to replace the one that they just took out because they made healthcare insurance plans illegal. Nature abhors a vacuum. So does an economy. Let the market decide. This is the Wells Report.
Hi, this is Andy Tuttle, host of Tuttle Talk every Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer. We're in a real estate market where there's a lot of difficulty, but in difficulty, there's a lot of opportunity as well. Buying, selling, avoiding foreclosure, modifying your credit, all these things are so important to your livelihood. This show is dedicated to cutting through some of the big headlines that you see out there and teaching you how to win in any marketplace. Thank you for tuning in to Tuttle Talk every Sunday, 4 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer. I look forward to speaking with you.
Each week and every Saturday afternoon, whether you're remodeling an existing house or building a new one, doing it yourself or hiring a professional, we're here to bring you interviews with the experts and take your phone calls. And we bring it to you with a little green, whether it be energy efficiency or organic products for your house. So join us each week for a little House Talk Today.
House Talk Today, Saturday afternoon from 1 to 3 on 660 AM The Answer.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head dealing with monthly payments, there's a powerful secret that credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $5,000 in credit card debt, you have the right to settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're debt relief advocates, and we're offering you free information on how to virtually eliminate your credit card debt and make your monthly payment affordable. To see how much you could save, call now, 1-800-400-0096. Don't declare bankruptcy. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. Find out how easy it is by calling now. For the secret the credit card companies don't want you to know, call Debt Relief Advocates now and see how much money you could save for free. 1-800-400-0096. That's 1-800-400-0096. 1-800-400-0096.
My family was devastated when my father lost over $1 million in the crash of 2008. Hi, my name is Ethan Kapp, and this crash devastated my family. 40 years of work and retirement dreams were dashed in less than 1 year. And to make matters worse, Dad had already retired. I was determined to find a better way, and luckily, after 5 long years of research, I did. I don't want your family to suffer through the next crash like we did. So today, I'm giving you a free copy of my best-selling book, Safe Money Millionaire. I reveal the strategies I discovered where the wealthy grow their money safely, get good rates of return, and get tax-free cash flow in retirement. If you're concerned about losing your hard-earned wealth in the next stock market crash, then call 1-800-391-0404 now to talk with a specialist and get a free copy of Safe Money Millionaire. You'll discover how you can grow your money safely and create tax-free retirement cash to protect yourself from taxes and crashes. The next 57 callers get free shipping and handling, no credit card required. Call 1-800-391-0404. 1-800-391-0404. Again, 1-800-391-0404.
A Silicon Valley CEO is fired for opposing same-sex marriage. A teenage girl is attacked on campus for protesting abortion. And a college club loses formal recognition for being Christian. This is the country we live in today, in America, where people are punished for expressing themselves and then bullied into silence. If you don't agree with a certain liberal agenda, you're targeted for silencing. This is Eric Metaxas, and my good friend Kirsten Powers chronicles this frightening new trend in her brand new book titled The Silencing: How the Left is Killing Free Speech. With fearless candor, Kirsten gives us example after example of men and women who've been punished for expressing opinions that have been suddenly deemed unacceptable. The Silencing is a much-needed wake-up call for everyone who cherishes liberty. Who will be the next victim of the silencing?
Kirsten Powers' book, The Silencing: How the Left is Killing Free Speech, from Regnery Publishing, is now available at Amazon.com, Costco, and bookstores everywhere.
Dentist office, may I help you?
Hi, I'd like to cancel my teeth whitening appointment.
Oh, may I ask why?
I found a teeth whitener that works in 5 minutes that I can do from home.
Can I ask what it is?
It's called Power Swabs, and it whitens your teeth in 5 minutes, doesn't leave my teeth feeling sensitive, and it's a lot less expensive than visiting the dentist.
Hi, I'm John Greenhut, the CEO of Power Swabs. And if you want to whiten your teeth 2 shades in 5 minutes and 6 shades in 7 days, then try Power Swabs. There's no messy strips or trays that you'll have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth and you're done. It removes stains on natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. Try Power Swabs risk-free by calling 1-800-281-4037. That's 1-800-281-4037. I guarantee your